Yes. Yeah. On a Thursday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today. And, of course, you have 2 more days to win tickets to see Steve Trevino, America's favorite husband, the guy who speaks why fluently, makes a stop at the venue for a night of nonstop laughs. And Sactown Sports wants you in the building, courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. That is at 1 p.m. And I think it's Nate's turn to pick the number, to pick a winner. So we will have that for you at 1. But before we get to all that, that is 3 hours
That's
away.
a long time.
We have Domas, third team, All-NBA. Put some respect on his name. People thought he'd get snubbed. We thought we were doing another Sabonis Sacramento snub segment. Not today. Today we celebrate the man who knows no boundaries when it comes to rebound, when it comes to assists, when it comes to points, when it comes to playmaking. Domantas Sabonis, congrats to you, big man. Chris, your thoughts?
Yes, I was one of those who didn't think it was going to happen. I just thought that with the way that this season went, it felt like, this was going to be the year of what ifs, and, we were going to get zero recognition. I'm just glad that this dude put together an actually historic season with the amount of double-doubles he had, and that it's recognized. Third team, of course, would have loved to see him in the second team. I think first team was always going to be a bit of a reach unless the Kings had a good record, but I'm glad that, we talk about brands and star power all the time. I'm glad that Domantas Sabonis, who just brought his lunch pail every single day, wasn't out here, number 1 on NBA.com, top 10, highlights or anything like that. Just every single day brought what was needed. And I'm glad that it was recognized. Even though the Kings didn't have a spectacular season, Domantas Sabonis sure as heck did. And, the names that he's included with are definitely names that it felt like he belongs with. And it just would have been really disappointing if the Kings ended up this season really having nothing. Right. Absolutely no awards to show for it.
It kind of would have been fitting, but I'm glad it didn't end up like that.
Yes, absolutely. I think in a weird way they did deserve to almost have nobody recognized. But Domantas Sabonis, if anybody did deserve to get recognized, and he definitely shined brighter than anybody else, I would say, this entire season. So glad that Sabonis at least gets recognized, even though I'm sure if there was any snubs, I think Jaylen Brown should have made it. Who should get eliminated? Sabonis is going to be the first one out of everybody else's mouth.
Exactly, and that's what I've been seeing, but I'm not even paying attention to that. Because they were all silent when Malik Monk got snubbed.
That's right.
They were all silent when Sabonis got snubbed from All-Star. And we'll also discuss De'Aaron Fox. I had a couple people comment when I just posted congrats to Sabonis saying that De'Aaron Fox was also snubbed. So we will get into all of that later in the show. Also, Bleacher Report has some dream and realistic offseason additions for every NBA team. We have some of the notable teams, of course, including the Kings. We also have where Malik Monk was mentioned, the teams that we're used to hearing, and 2 teams that we are not used to hearing, including one that is basically Voldemort in Sacramento. So we will tell you who that is. Of course, at 12 p.m., we have our mock draft. This one is from Sports Illustrated. I'll tell you again. I like yesterday's better. I'll say it like that. But we have that from Sports Illustrated at 12 p.m. It's another Chris. It's a guard. Another guard. Yeah. Okay.
It's starting to feel like Groundhog Day.
Comparisons with Josh Hart. All these publications, they just think that Malik is gone. That's what I'm gathering from this. And that's why they're trying to give the Kings guards, even though we don't want guards. All right. So that's at 12 p.m. We also will have Sean Cunningham around 1 o'clock. Not an exact time yet because, Sean's a busy man.
Busy dude.
He is a busy man.
He was with Coach Patrick yesterday.
He was with Coach Patrick yesterday. I was with Sean at the Sac Republic match earlier this week. And that's where the whole thing started because I said, Sean, are you going to see me on Saturday? And he said, no, brother.
No,
I will not be seeing you on Saturday. So we will have some fun with Sean talking Sac Republic. Mike Brown talks, and also the Bottle Rock conversation continues on. We're bringing back Fair or Foul. That's later in the show around 1:15.
There's some interesting ones in that Fair or Foul.
Oh, there's some fun ones for sure. And, of course, we will break down something that we obviously didn't start over here, but we got wind of it. This whole Mike Brown contract extension talk and the article that was written and was not really represented correctly. Heard Carmichael Dave talking about it this morning. So we have Carmichael Dave, not, I wouldn't say breaking news, but talking about Mike Brown and all the potential extension talks that have been going on. So we have that clip from Carmichael Dave. If you were still sleeping this morning, we will replay that and we will give our thoughts on that whole situation. But we start here with the Mavericks. And Chris, I'm going to put it to you like this. One, the Mavericks are a problem. Yeah. Two, Anthony Edwards, you're going to get these jokes because Kyrie had the game, not the game of his life, but Kyrie had something to prove. And this is the most classic example of poking the bear that I could ever come up with. What did Kyrie had 20?
I think it was 23 in the first half.
At the half? What are you
24,
doing?
24 at the end of the first half.
What are you doing now?
11 of 14. Yeah. Come on.
He only finished with 30, but honestly, Kyrie, when you pair him with a guy like Luka, right. Kyrie he's not number one. So he doesn't have to go off all game long. So yeah, I don't really know. I know, and we have sound from Kyrie and just saying, hey, he respects the fact that Anthony Edwards called him out. We know who Anthony Edwards is. That's why we love him. But you're going to get these jokes because Chris, out of the second half, you would see when Kyrie didn't score as much, it wasn't Anthony Edwards on him. For a lot of it, it was Alexander Walker. It was different guys on him. So Anthony Edwards, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, first off, on the Dallas front, like I think what they did yesterday was just absolutely wonderful. Like Kyrie came out after the game and said, the reason why he felt like he had to have a big first half was because he's been in those situations before, obviously having previous experience in NBA Finals and understood. Like my team needs, like not a lot of people have been here before, and right. He just kind of took the initiative himself. Said, I'm going to make sure that we're going to be in this game on the road in a game one. If we can steal that, that's a huge opportunity. Said he just knew he needed to give Luka an opportunity at the end of the game, and Luka definitely took it in that second half. He was out of control, and it's kind of crazy because I didn't realize that they'd done kind of what I just like the first half Kyrie, second half Luka thing. And I thought about it, and that's exactly what they did here in Sacramento. Right. And I think it's a really, really dangerous game plan. I mean, if you have to worry about Kyrie to start the game, and that's kind of the one thing that they did a really good job, OKC did in that last series, was keeping Kyrie at bay. If Kyrie's going to be a factor in this series, it's going to be really tough for Minnesota. They're going to need their defense to look like how it did the entirety of last series. Maybe they're a little bit gassed themselves from going out and putting together that.
Said that.
Ant was gassed. Yeah, he was just sitting in the 4 minutes of that game. I've never seen Anthony Edwards look tired, and he had his like full on hands on his hips in the corner, just standing there. I mean, that's a bit of a scary sight if you're Minnesota, because you need Anthony Edwards to be at that level that you see Luka and Kyrie at. Yesterday, only had 19 points. He was really cold, and he did hit a big three at the end of the game. But you just need more from your stars. I thought Cat actually was their, I guess I would say, second best player, because Jaden McDaniels yesterday couldn't miss a three,
right?
And really, as a team, Minnesota couldn't miss. So if I'm Dallas, I obviously feel great about the win, but I also feel really good knowing Minnesota shot the lights out, and there's no way they can continue to do that. They took 49 threes, Minnesota did in game one. I don't think that's their game. I don't think that's their bag. So if they're going to continue to hoist it up like that, it might be a little easier for Dallas than I would have thought. I thought Minnesota was going to take this in like a 6-game series.
I mean, it kind of has been their bag, though. I look at, and you had a random game from Kyle Anderson. So I guess even though Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who has played really well at home, didn't do much, it really didn't play that much. I thought he'd play more. You kind of got, when you get to that far down the bench, you kind of start looking at things as combinations, or we just need production. Doesn't matter who it's from. So you essentially got the production from that position with Kyle Anderson and Alexander Walker combining for 13 points. Naz Reid, 15 points. Mike Conley, kind of a quiet game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 points. But then from the starters, to your point, Chris, yeah, Anthony Edwards, 19, 11, not a great game, but when you get 24 from Jaden McDaniels, kind of you would think it made up for it. I guess Karl-Anthony Towns, not an awesome game, but also not a bad game, some timely shots. 12 and 7 from Gobert. Gobert can be hot and cold when it comes to the rebounding. So it wasn't a bad game from Minnesota. I think that if you're Minnesota, you're in a tough spot. I mean, we'll talk about the Pacers and the Celtics again. The Celtics and Pacers, they can feel differently about their games. The Pacers let something slip away. The Celtics could have played better. When both teams play really well, like Minnesota and the Mavericks, obviously Anthony Edwards could have played a little bit better and just elevated his game. But when you can't look at anything glaring, that's when it's a problem if you lose that game, specifically when you lose that game at home.
Yes.
It's crazy, Chris, because, off the top of my head, it feels like Anthony Edwards is bigger than Kyrie. It's almost like the one type of defender that they don't have. And look, because what they said was this whole Anthony Edwards, I want Kyrie. The last time when the Timberwolves beat the Mavs, Kyrie didn't play. The one game I believe they lost to the Mavs, Kyrie
was on the team.
I know that was insane. The last time Anthony Edwards checked Kyrie, he had 31.
Yeah,
he had 31.
Right.
So Anthony Edwards was trying to, I guess, convince himself that he could lock him up. And look, I trust Finch, and I think that they'll come up with some type of scheme to do this differently. Right. But the one type of defender that they don't have is that guard defender, that Davion Mitchell type of defender. Yeah. And you would think, okay, then let Kyrie cook. The problem is you're not fully stopping Luka either. So if you could, and I know they said on the broadcast, okay, if we can start to look to see them trap Luka earlier, which you don't typically like, but you had Derek Lively, a rookie, not really knowing what to do. They're going to have to do that because
he was super confused.
One of them can ball out. They can't combine for 63. Yeah. That can't happen.
No, I would try and slow down Kyrie. I feel like Luka's just a machine, but I mean, you got to double Kyrie. I would maybe try Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You mentioned him having a really rough game shooting. I think that hurts Minnesota a lot if they can't trust him to be out on the floor because he's kind of the one, right? Like Mike Conley. Bless Mike Conley, but he can't guard Kyrie Irving at this stage in his career. So you need one of those young guys. And I mean, I would say guard is probably the weak spot of Minnesota. They have so much size and length with Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson coming off the bench. But really, I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is their main guard coming off the bench. And if he can't provide them with good minutes, then Kyrie is just going to go off. And then Luka, I don't know who they put on Luka because you can't put Jaden McDaniels on him straight up because, I mean, Luka's just going to back him down. Yeah. Exactly. So you can maybe double and kind of obscure his vision with Jaden McDaniels, but he's got to be the help defender. And you definitely don't want to put Anthony Edwards on Luka, especially after how tired he looked yesterday. That's the last thing you want to do is just tire out Ant or defensively so he can't give anything for you offensively. And that's going to kind of be the push and pull I think that Minnesota's got to figure out is how do you kind of hide Anthony Edwards so he can still be the offensive superstar, but you still kind of need Anthony Edwards to be a perimeter defender.
Right.
So
we went from
it's kind of tough.
Yeah, we went from I want them or I want Kyrie to now possibly hiding him. But this is what happens with game one. Yeah. A lot of things are going to be not blown out of proportion, but it's the only game you have to go off of. So we will continue this conversation. We have some sound from Kyrie responding to Anthony Edwards. We have Kyrie's sound in the media scrum, and then we have Kyrie sound with the guys from TNT, which is obviously pretty darn funny. All right, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's not snub bonus. Yes, a win. From the 916, a different 916. What is the NBA's love affair with Kawhi Leonard? Second team, really?
Did he really?
Yeah, he's a great player, but barely plays, and he's rarely next level special. That is from the one and only Folsom Mike. He does seem a bit. I'd have to look at his.
I realized he made second team All NBA.
Got to look at the numbers, but he does feel a bit grandfathered in at this point in time.
Let's see here. Kawhi numbers this season. Yeah, nothing like too spectacular. 23 points a game, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He did shoot 52% and 41 from 3, which is obviously great. Maybe this is a, hey, Kawhi Leonard, we kind of made this whole 65 game limit with you in mind, and you actually passed the 65 games. So right. I guess we kind of have to recognize you for he played 68, so just barely above the limit. And that's also, to maybe the NBA's point, that is the most games Kawhi has played since he was 25 years old in 2016. So,
but you don't congratulate someone for that.
No, you're not. You're definitely not supposed to. But I guess the thought is that Kawhi, when he was out there, was really good and did have to split it amongst Paul George and James Harden.
He normally backloads. This time he front loaded and was not around when it mattered most.
That's right. Which would you rather have?
And then he did play in the playoffs, but at that point, the Clippers are just so disjointed. Did you see that quickly? Did you see that leak of inside the Intuit Dome?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
so next season they're gonna have all new uniforms and the whole
new logo.
They're on the water, right? Yep. That's the thing. They're the Clippers, but. Is the arena close to the water?
I don't believe so. I believe it's like 5 or 10 minutes away from LAX.
Well, I know my uncle lives in Inglewood. I've been there a couple times, but I don't recall it being.
It's definitely not on the water. No, it's right across from SoFi, so it's not on the water at all.
But they're a cool logo. They're a bit disjointed, but we hear you, Folsom Mike. He does seem a bit grandfathered in, similar to the All-Star.
Maybe third team. Maybe third team would have been okay for Kawhi.
Yeah. Speaking of not getting snubbed, the Sac Republic, they were not snubbed, and they will host the Seattle Sounders. And I don't think it's been confirmed yet, Chris, either July 9th or 10th. We are going to talk to Sean Cunningham about that as well around 1 p.m. And Chris, I'm telling you right now.
What's up?
Look, I'm sure Connor will be doing a great job because that's going to be a huge game.
Yes.
But either way, your boy is probably going to be the building.
Yes.
I got to be there for that.
Yes, we need you there.
I got to be
you
there for
in
that.
The crowd.
I got to be there.
We might have to get you in the battalion. Do you think you could? It's not like the chance aren't that. Like you could learn it. You could probably learn it.
I heard a couple seemed a little NSFW.
Yes,
and I was at first I'm thinking, am I hearing this correctly?
Yeah. No, I used to be for one season I was the usher. I did an usher at Sac Republic, and they put me in the battalion section, and I was like, wow, this is like
it's pretty clear. It's clear. Yes, it is clear.
Yeah.
They definitely are articulate.
Yes.
So that will be an outstanding game.
Yeah.
But before all that, of course, they will play a couple games and matches before then, and one will be Saturday with your boy doing some in-game hosting. Also, our program director, Jose Gonzalez, will be doing the PA.
Are we calling it 1140 day? Is that what's happening?
That's what we talked to Jose about, is kind of turning into a Sactown Sports takeover, the Sac Republic, Sactown Sports takeover. So if you're going to be out there, come say what's up. Nate might even be there doing some good work for us.
I will.
Nate is, he's going to grab. Yeah, DJ Bedhead will not be there, but Video Nate.
What's my name?
Yeah, we got to think of one.
Yeah,
Video Nate will be there, capturing your boy, capturing the audience, capturing everything as far as the Sactown Sports takeover.
Wow.
That will be great stuff. Well, It was great stuff when Anthony Edwards had a lot to say after the Game 7 against the Nuggets, but it didn't turn into that when he got absolutely roasted expeditiously against Kyrie. And we have that sound from Kyrie responding to the media and responding to the TNT guys when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Thursday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies. Really nice day out there as temperatures come back to average. Highs will peak this afternoon in the lower 80s. Expect your overnight lows down to the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we buy from ourselves. Right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. See our certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Is credit card debt weighing you down? Are you losing sleep at night, worrying about how much you owe? Have you ever used one credit card to pay off another credit card, just prolonging the problem? You're not alone. Half of all Americans are dealing with troubling credit card debt. But there is an answer. Zero Debt USA has proven strategies to eliminate that troubling credit card interest and get you out of debt fast. They can often get your monthly payment down to less than half of what you're currently paying. Work with a company that can help. Visit ZeroDebtUSA.com. Again, ZeroDebtUSA.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, it wasn't exactly a headline when the A's acquired infielder Abraham Toro from the Brewers in the offseason. After all, Toro had just 18 at-bats in the big leagues a year ago. But as we near the end of May, his emergence has become a good story. Entering the week, Toro is number 8 in the American League in batting and also in the top 20 in hits and on-base percentage.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. $12,000 off every Silverado LT 5.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price. Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 6/3/24.
Made a great deal at Maida. Sacramento, Dirks Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirks Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Bonley. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
It's Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
In a good way, but in also a difficult way, as the defending champs have already been knocked out. Now we're ready to crown the Timberwolves, and now the Timberwolves lose at home to the Mavericks the same way the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets at home to start that series. And now you're looking at a Mavericks team that is red hot, absolutely red hot. Luka improving his defense. Chris, that play with about a minute and 30 left when he jumped up and broke. That's the highest I saw Luka jump ever. He went from credit card hops to, he looked like Bronny James out there.
That's right.
He looked like Bronny James. He looked like a DB breaking that up. So shout out to Luka. And I'll even say this, Chris, because I'm hard on Luka.
Yeah.
I thought, relatively speaking, his complaining was less egregious last night.
It was.
It was. Now they were
less noticeable.
Now they were winning for a good bit, right? And it was a close game for a majority.
Yeah.
But it was less egregious. There was one. I don't know if you saw this play, and after this we'll get to the Kyrie audio. There was one where almost the defender pulled the chair. Did you see that? Where he went to go up on a layup, the defender pulled the chair and he just fell. And he just sat there and stared at the ref as everybody went to the other side.
He can't help himself.
The very next play, Luka drives again, foul.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's effective. Nobody wants to be. You cannot give him 18 techs.
No,
he's turning into a face of the league, and you do not want to be mean mugged by Luka all game.
Yeah,
it's effective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's kind of tough to officiate him too, because he does kind of bang into people all the time, and I think there's a lot of extracurriculars that go on, and I kind of think that's where Luka makes his money, is like when there's the in-between arm jostling and things like that. Like I think he plays games with referees, and definitely mental games for sure. And I just think he's one of the hardest people to officiate in the league, because he almost plays at his own pace. It's like it's almost like you have to watch him completely different than you would watch everybody else.
I dare you to not call a foul again, or I dare you to continue calling these fouls. All right, we have two pieces of audio here. First, let's get the Kyrie. They were both very well done, but one is just more entertaining than the other. Let's first get to Kyrie in the post-game presser talking about Anthony Edwards and what Anthony said after beating the Nuggets.
Yeah, no, as a peer, man, I love that. I love it, man. It's nothing better. When Ant was a little bit younger, I'm sure he was watching me, and when he was in high school, I was watching him. So for me, it's more of those exciting matchups that I look forward to too. Right after the game, it was funny because he said it right then and there, and I think the whole world was looking like, okay, you better know what you're talking about, and I respect that, and that no fear mentality that he has is why I love him as a competitor and why I love him as a person. But we're on that court. I know he's going to give his all. I'm going to give my all. And at the end of the game, it's all love. And we're in between those lines. He knows what it is, and I know what it is.
So that was the first one. And, look, Kyrie has said some – I asked you, Chris, during the pre-show, is Kyrie rebranding? And you basically said, no, he's just talking about basketball now, right?
Yes.
And just not to do the shut up and dribble thing, but when he talks basketball, I think people really like Kyrie. I think fans really like Kyrie. I think on the other side,
players love
fans like Kyrie. They really do.
Yes,
they really do, man.
He's a hooper.
And Kyrie, when it comes to basketball, says the right things, right? And he does it in a way where you think, man, I mean, this guy is kind of cool, right? He is pretty darn cool.
Yes.
And he is who he is. And now this is him,
blessing and a curse,
with the Inside the NBA crew. And of course, they had some more fun with Kyrie and what Anthony Edwards had to say.
Sorry, my bad. Hey, Kyrie, you at home minding your business the other night.
Yeah, what about it?
You with your beautiful family just chilling, probably having a nice meal, and then the young fella says, I got Kyrie. And you said, excuse me?
Yeah.
And he said it again. He said, I got Kyrie.
Yep.
That's the most aggressive you've been in a long time.
Yes, sir.
I know that had to irk you a little bit.
Use it as a motivation. When I was sitting at home and I saw it, I was like, just a nod of respect. And then also, I knew what type of game it was going to be for game one and also for the rest of the series. So you're right. I was at home with my family watching Game 7.
You just minded your own business.
And then Ant comes out and says, I got Kyrie, but also that's a no fear mentality, and that's why we love Ant. So coming out tonight, I knew that he was going to pressure me a little bit. But I knew that they were coming off a Game 7, grueling game. So their legs were biting them a little bit tonight. So hopefully Game 2, they come back and, they settle a little bit more, but we'll be prepared.
You can't draw up a better response than that.
No, I mean, that's picture perfect. He compliments him, but also at the same time leans into what he said. But at the same time, it's it's all love and respect. But I mean, that's a perfect answer. And, and the thing is, it actually sounded real too. That's not, my guy Wardell, starts to sound a little bit more crafted and, media trained and all that
You
stuff.
don't even hear any of his post games. It's not about him. What do the kids say? Rent free. It's not even about him.
I will say nothing funnier than seeing giant men at a tiny table.
Oh,
on
man.
the TNT show.
And the best part is it keeps growing.
Yes,
it keeps growing. The table keeps growing.
No, this table's tiny. They're remote for this broadcast.
The amount of people keep growing.
Yeah. There's 6 people. Kyrie's not even remotely behind the desk. He's completely exposed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They do the same thing for the NFL, and it cracks me up every single time. Yeah, Chris, I can kind of identify with Anthony Edwards because even though I got a live mic, I mean, I think, also because I have a live mic, I've put my foot in my mouth a time here or a time there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's based on adrenaline.
Yeah.
And I think that Anthony Edwards would probably do it again.
Right.
But he was working off some adrenaline. And then when he settles in, and he's probably thinking in the fourth quarter where he's sitting in the corner, why did I say that?
Yeah.
Because I'm gassed.
Yeah.
I'm tired. And as much as we appreciate
he
it.
needs life alert.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Gatorade, can I get an IV? Can I get something? Because he was getting cooked all night long, and everybody was really getting cooked. I mean, to your point, your boy, Jaden McDaniels, he's too long, right? He's too long for Kyrie and not quick enough.
Sure.
He's too light, right? He doesn't have enough beef on him for Luka, and that's their dude.
Right.
And honestly, it's like watching two twins, whether it's Jaden McDaniels or Alexander Walker, neither of them are able to help.
Right.
I think to your point, you might as well. Is it, Chris? Is it really a different look when they both look exactly the same?
Yeah, one's just smaller than the other.
If I'm ever doing prop talk, I got to make sure I memorize their numbers because they look exactly the same to me. And then Nikhil just has an uglier. He just has an uglier shot. So I said, okay, is it going to the right? Okay, that's Walker.
Yes,
that's Walker. So yeah, I don't know. And again, we do look. The Nuggets, they lost the first 2 games at home, and they took it to 7 and had a chance. So the Timberwolves are nowhere near done. I think when I look at these games, Chris, and if I were to pick something out, when you look at the Pacers games, when you look at other games, it's the outliers, right? There wasn't any, and we'll take it back to, the random games where somebody has a ridiculous amount of points.
There was no PJ Washington game, no Tim Hardaway
That's why I'm feeling
game.
good if I'm the Mavericks, because there was no outlier that you can say, okay.
There is no Jaden McDaniels having 24, right?
They got the outlier and still lost at home.
Yeah.
at home.
Really tough.
If you win with no outlier, your two stars just did what stars like to do.
Right.
Mark Cuban is saying, for those reasons, I'm in.
Yeah.
He's definitely not out on that one.
Yeah, no, and I mean, to that point, too, like Luka had 33. That's average. Like, he's going to have a 40-point game at some point in this series. Like, it's going to happen. And so, you got to factor in that. They haven't even gone to Dallas yet, which is honestly one of the best home courts that there is in the NBA. Like, I think Minnesota really put themselves in a tough situation here. Dallas, I think I saw as they won yesterday, as they were walking off, TNT showed on the graphic that that they're tied right now for the most road wins in this playoff. That's the exact kind of thing that you need to have if you want to take this thing all the way. Winning on the road is the most important thing you can do in the playoffs. And if Dallas has already set the precedent of, we don't mind going on the road, I think that's a very, very dangerous team. And the fact that they already stole one on the road makes me feel like Minnesota should feel like they're on their heels a bit. They need to come out in game 2 and make a statement. They can't look laissez-faire. They cannot look like they're just playing a game that they, are playing after they had just played a couple days ago. They need to look completely refreshed. And, I do wonder, I don't believe that this is true, but I think you were kind of getting at it. Anthony Edwards, I don't think he regrets it, but this is almost when keeping it real goes wrong. You ask for a challenge and you get the challenge and you weren't ready for it. I mean, you were too tired for it, not necessarily, upset at Ant for it, but that's just kind of the reality of the situation is, like you said up top, you poke the bear. Sometimes, the bear's going to attack you. And I think that's what it was with Kyrie is you woke up a dormant bear. And
he had not been playing very well.
Not at all.
Scoring the basketball.
Not at all.
He was not scoring the basketball.
And I'm sure he heard the Jamal Murray. I had Jamal Murray in handcuffs.
Yeah.
And after he heard Ant say what he said about, I got Kyrie, I'm going to make sure I guard Kyrie. I'm sure Kyrie, like he said, I took it as motivation. I'm sure Kyrie in his head was like, you are not going to catch Anthony Edwards after game 1 saying the same thing about me, because that's just not how Kyrie is. And, I think it was an awesome performance from him. And it's balls in Minnesota's court, to say the least here. They have to be able to respond, or else, you go down 2-0, you're cooked. Okay. It's over at that point. I don't care what happened in the series before. I know, Minnesota went up 2-0 and then Denver came right back and made it a 7-game series. If they go down 2-0, I think Dallas is legit. Not that, Minnesota wasn't legit, but I think Dallas could definitely make this into a 5 or 6 game series their way if they can steal another one in Minnesota.
And here we are again with this conversation of, did the media, I wouldn't say us, because, we don't talk that much Timberwolves, even though everybody's high on Anthony Edwards. Did he get crowned too early? Chris, I saw a lot of other media, and tomorrow, by the way, I was not bored. I'm never bored at home, honey. Don't get me wrong. But I was looking up the rankings of sports podcasts because I was so curious who's listening to these current player podcasts.
Right.
So we're gonna have a fun game for you tomorrow, by the way. But I'm listening to all these current players and former player podcasts and non-athlete but sports podcasts. They all said the Timberwolves have the best player in this series in in Anthony Edwards. I think that's crazy.
I do too.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Anthony Edwards
too much
is right there.
But now it's too much.
I don't think so. I don't think it's too much. I think
you think it's a good conversation.
That's wrong, but maybe it's a good conversation.
I'm not even a Luka guy.
I just think Luka's clearly better than Ant.
He
but I
just
think Ant is like
the game, though.
A top 5, top 8 player in the
Ant
NBA.
doesn't contrle the game like Luka controls the game.
Definitely not. Not yet, but Ant is also 22 years old.
But I'm saying right now.
No, I would disagree. I would agree with you disagreeing.
But you don't think it's as egregious?
I don't think it's crazy. No, I think Anthony Edwards is right. I think this has been an ascension here that's been a long time coming. I mean, if you look at his playoff numbers, this is what he does. Not what he did in game 1, but he's usually easily a 30-point per game scorer when it comes to playoff games. I just feel like, this is still uncharted territory for him. Like it is, we see it with Tyrese Halliburton. It's just sometimes you got to go through these. Ant has never played this many games in his life before. Like, I think it's okay that he's fatigued and kind of learning, okay, I have to be in a certain type of condition to make it through these things. Luka's already been here. He's been in the conference finals before.
Just like Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, Tyrese has never been there. He has definitely not been to the conference
No, I'm
finals
just
before.
saying, it's his first time. So
That's what I'm saying. And so he's struggling the same way Anthony Edwards is struggling. We saw it last series.
I had to get you with that one. All right. Coming up next, we get into the conversation that took over NBA Twitter yesterday as far as Mike Brown, the contract extension, the article, the misrepresentation of the article, what was actually meant, and Carmichael Dave. Carmichael Dave, can I give a shout out real quick? Carmichael Dave, he does a lot of talking about Jason Ross being out, right? And we think, I'm just going to talk about recipes. Carmichael Dave has been in his bag this week. He has been in his bag this week. The Sac Republic stuff,
I know.
Now this stuff with Mike Brown. Don't let Carmichael Dave fool you. Yeah. He's been in his bag.
Wolf in sheep's clothing.
That's exactly right. He's been in his hot plate this week. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings sale is on now at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords with low financing and lease options. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
You're ready for a perfect summer on the lawn. But wait, there are weeds, brown spots, and mosquitoes everywhere. It's time to call True Green. Get the best deal of the year and save over $200 when you bundle annual lawn care and mosquito plans. So all you have to do is water and mow. Hurry, offer ends May 28th. Visit truegreen.com for the best lawn at the best price. Guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with insulation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
At 1 o'clock, you will have your chance to see America's favorite husband. I thought that was me.
Got him.
Thank you. Who speaks wife fluently, Steve Trevino. No, that wasn't it.
Oh, sorry.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort at the venue. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. It's June 1st. Okay.
It's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. So that is at 1 p.m. Nate will pick the numbers. So if you win, thank Nate. If you lose, blame Nate. And you will have a great time out there. Okay, let's get into. And by the way, Carmichael Dave, he busts into.
Did he? Oh, he didn't.
No,
okay.
He busts into the studio. Okay, during the break. After I sit there, give him his flowers, he says, I was walking around the building. All I heard is, Dave, take your hot plate. And then I said, well, you missed me giving you your flowers. He said, well, what did you say? I said, well, you got to go listen. Go back and listen.
Yeah.
SactownSports.com.
He didn't even say, come get your hot plate.
No.
He said he's in his hot plate.
I said, you're in your hot plate.
Right.
So go check that out on YouTube. Go check that out. Sactown Sports app. Okay. And then he said, well, what did you say? I said, I'm not telling you.
Nope.
And then he said he would have his wife tell him. So shout out to Dave. And here was Dave during his show. This was during the 7 o'clock hour where he broke down the article that got misrepresented and then broke some news on Mike Brown and the extension talks.
Mike Brown, I will tell you right now, Mike Brown is almost, I would say I am 98% sure based on sourced information that Coach Mike Brown will sign an extension this summer, and it will probably be somewhere in the 3-year $30 to 3-year $33 million range with a probably a mutual opt-out for a fourth year. I'm not entirely sure on what that fourth year is going to be, but they're going to give him an extension. And it's going to be around $10-11 million a year from it.
That's pretty detailed.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty darn detailed.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, article came out. James Ham wrote it. I think it was NBA on. To be fair, I thought this NBA on X. I thought they were associated. This is Elon's fault. This is whose fault this is.
Right.
This is Elon's fault.
Right.
I thought that NBA on X, NBA or basketball on X. I thought they were associated with X.
Sure. Right.
I honestly did.
Yeah.
Then once this whole thing came out and people said, "Hey, this was misrepresented," obviously that those were the words that James wrote, but taken out of context, and you twist them around and you flip it, twist it,
right.
Reverse it and make it look a certain way. That's what happened, and it happens. And I said this to our roundtable text, our roundtable group chat. I said, this happens fairly often.
Yes,
right. It just happened
to
as
us.
far as the Kings,
Yeah.
and so obviously we're going to react. But this stuff happens every single day,
all the time,
and I guess that's a separate conversation as far as just the manipulation of words and the manipulation of journalism and the integrity of journalism these days,
and
trusted sources. So they post, and they ended up having more retweets and quote tweets than likes, which is never a good sign for them.
Right.
Everybody came out and rode for James, or most people came out, rode for James and said, hey, this isn't what he meant, or this isn't how you read it, if you actually saw what he said. So we can kind of close the door on that and open the door on the extension talks and essentially what Dave broke. And the conversation now of 3 years, 30 million, 10 to 11 million a year. I think Mike Brown definitely deserves it, possibly a fourth option. And Chris, you had, I thought, a very real take on this as far as whose fault this actually is. I'm saying Elon.
Right, exactly.
You have a different answer for whose fault this is.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, you blame Elon and you're not wrong because this is also a problem of, like I said, how can you trust sources and how do you figure out, okay, this one seems legit to me, but that one doesn't. Like, I'll block this account, not this one. Right. But I truly do think that this is, sure, a portion of this is the reporting and the misreporting and all that stuff. But I just blame the Kings for this. Like, this is the exact reason why you don't have your coach go into a lame duck season. Everyone was like, well, okay, I don't see what's so wrong with putting Mike Brown in a prove-it year. I don't think he's necessarily earned the extension or whatever. We didn't make the playoffs, so, why extend him? This is exactly why. So you avoid these kind of reports or not these reports, but this trail of misinformation doesn't happen if the Kings just extended Mike Brown halfway through last year, or if they would have already extended his contract before yesterday. And this is what happens. This is why they always say coaches never go into lame duck seasons unless they're probably going to be fired, because all these reports start circulating. And then, I already saw Cleveland media or, Cleveland aggregating sites that, like, I don't know, whatever, gocavs.com or whatever is out here saying, oh, Mike Brown's upset. Let's go bring him over to Cleveland.
I saw it about Warriors fans saying, bring him back. Bring him. I know. They said anyone but Steve Kerr.
Insane. I can't with them. He's going to go join Jordy's staff in Brooklyn or something. But this is exactly why you don't do this, is because these reports happen. And even if it's not true, it's the illusion of instability, which can kill you. I mean, even reports coming out and saying, oh, they're even slightly not happy with Mike Brown. Some people around the league might look at that and say, you guys are insane. What are you talking about? You guys had 16 years of a playoff drought, and then this guy gives you forget a playoff drought, 16 years of not having a winning record.
Right.
And then this guy gives you 2 straight winning records the second he walks into the door. What are you talking about? You're going to fire him. So this is exactly why you don't have coaches go into these contract years, because this is absolutely what's going to happen every single time. And if he's still not extended by the season, I guarantee in the middle of the year, you'll hear, Lakers have been talking with Coach Mike Brown about potentially joining them next season. Like, you're going to hear whispers of Mike Brown is on ex-coaching list. All of it. It's such a distraction that's so unnecessary, and it can really affect your locker room. If Mike Brown's going to go into next season, which doesn't sound like it by Dave's reporting and by multiple other people's reporting, but if he were to go into next season without a deal, it's going to happen, and it's going to seep into the locker room, and people are going to wonder, well, De'Aaron Fox, do I want to extend here if I don't know that Mike Brown's even just not forget Mike, I don't know who's going to be here the next year. So, it's just a level of instability that you don't want being out in the public, even though it's not true. I think, sometimes the court of public opinion is already decided, and it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. And I definitely think this could be an example of that. So hopefully Mike Brown gets signed. I mean, we have like 8 more days left in May. Hopefully we're not talking about this on June 1st, because the longer you drag this out, the more, especially now that it's out in the public, the longer that it doesn't happen, the more people are going to say, maybe there is something there, and you just don't want any of that.
Coming up next, how this could actually help Mike Brown. Also, Domas, 13 All-NBA. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
It's the Memorial Day sales event going on at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi folks, Leonard Harrington here, and I'm here to tell you we've got the savings, the selection, and of course the service to make Memorial Day better than ever. You know, the start of the summer is the perfect time to get into that new Ram truck, Dodge Charger, Chrysler 300, or Jeep Wrangler that you've been thinking about. And of course, there's plenty in stock to choose from. We've got the colors, the styles, and the options you've been looking for. Maybe you need service on your vehicle. From routine maintenance to major repairs, let our factory-trained service techs get you back on the road at no time at all. It's our Memorial Day sales event, so why not kick off the summer right now? Only at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, right off 99 in Kettleman, and open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to amp up your summer with the Sactown Sports live events calendar. We've got a lineup that's awesome. First up, mark your calendar for June 8th when NF takes the stage at the Golden One Center. Visit LiveNation.com for tickets and get ready for a killer high-energy show. Don't miss music legends Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello with the Imposters on June 12th, and NSYNC and Backstreet artists Joey Fatone and AJ McLean on June 22nd. Two great shows coming in June to Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then looking ahead to August 4th, get ready for the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp, presented by Live Nation. The Sactown Sports live events calendar, your ultimate playbook for the best shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sactown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. $12,000 off every Silverado LT 5.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price. Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Best trade in 2010 model year or newer. N6324.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Chris, the 916 says, as we have a conversation about Mike Brown and the extension, also other coaches are watching.
Oh, yeah.
On the SAC chat, Amid Rock says, if you think the draft class is lacking talent, the head coach pool is probably worse.
Ooh.
And that is where I was going to go with this as far as how this changes things for Coach Mike Brown. And we don't know. Look, the article just came out, and then the reposting, reworking of the article, that was yesterday as well, I think. But I will say that if, and maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion, but if the Kings do wait on this, the more they wait on this and the more garbage and smoke comes out, all you're doing is being forced to pay Mike Brown more. Because I think even with this leaking, I mean, the NBA Twitter is a huge place, but it's also a tight-knit place. And the amount of teams, like you said, from the Cavs to the Warriors, and then the Warriors, that was just more crazy fans, but the list goes on and on. Yeah. Mike Brown could say, look, y'all want to play around?
Yeah.
You play around if you want.
And find out.
And you can find out. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If what is it gets to the point now, and I can't even remember which Niner this happened with because there's been so many, but it gets to the point where it's, if we're going to do this dance, what is the holdup, right? If you've been dating someone for over 5 years and you have to decide whether or not,
hold on.
You want to be with
somebody for more than 5 years.
You want to be with somebody,
trouble, please,
or not? What are we waiting for? What are we doing?
Look, that's a complicated question.
Either move on or put a ring on it.
Stop,
dude. Can we opt out of that? No. I hear what
from a basketball standpoint.
I absolutely hear what you're saying. No, I mean 100%. Like, what's Mike Brown going to do that's gonna change things for you?
Do you have a because I saw somebody say yesterday,
yeah.
If that were the case, and now this would be really shady, but Jordy would have been that contingency plan.
Sure.
And now he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah.
So, and you threw out a name yesterday.
Hey, man, he's sitting right there, and it's right in front of our face.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
I don't want to do it. Yeah.
Why would you pay someone unproven when you could just pay someone that's already proven?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I mean, I think you're completely right. Like, because, I mean, it's just basic negotiations, right? Like, the Kings are losing their leverage here, and Mike Brown is gaining a whole lot of leverage.
That's what I'm saying.
What we talked about yesterday, right? Public pressure. And public pressure can make people do some crazy things or some things that they weren't planning on doing before. And, I definitely think that, if there's enough public pressure from people who say, what are we doing here with this Mike Brown situation?
Yeah.
It's just going to make Mike Brown's negotiation a whole lot easier or a whole lot better for him, I guess. Because, Dave reports that it's 11 mil is what he's hearing around. But shoot, I mean, what's to stop Mike Brown from, if he wants to be, not, I won't say selfish, that's not the right word, but if he wants to look out for himself and have his best interest in mind, why not say, price just went up 12.
Yeah.
12. What are you guys going to do?
De'Aaron told me to get it back.
What are you guys going to do?
De'Aaron told all of us to get it back.
I'm just doing what our best player said, okay? So, what's going to stop? I don't know what will. And if you're the Kings, Pay the man. Like he has done, okay, with the exception of missing the playoffs this year, but record-wise has done what he needed to do to satisfy the job requirement. And I don't know what else they would want to see from him in order to at least, because we're not saying give him a lifetime contract.
Right.
That's another thing. We're just saying, okay, I'll sign up for 2 or 3 more years of this.
Right.
Absolutely. And then we can reevaluate. I'm not saying he's not going to be the Mark Jackson to an eventual Steve Kerr. I'm just saying, why do we have to do that now?
Yeah.
It seems like things are on a pretty good track, and maybe,
it's on a pretty good track.
Maybe the train goes off the rails at some point, but let's wait for the train to get off the rails, and let's try and maximize the most out of what Mike Brown's going to give us so that the next coach can step in and have an easier job too. Because, I mean, I tell Brendan and Frankie this all the time, more as a joke, but Mike Brown's going to be fired one day. It's the reality of being a coach. Every coach except for Spoelstra, except for, Greg Popovich, there's very few coaches who don't get fired, that get to leave on their own terms. So I'm not saying, delusional that Mike Brown is going to be this coach forever, but I'm just saying I think that there's a little bit more meat on this Mike Brown bone, and I think it would be really stupid to leave the dinner table right now.
It wouldn't make any sense to me, and I don't really understand.
Because to the texter's point too, what's out there? Who are we bringing in? Who's the Sean McVay of basketball right now? That's what I always say. Like, who are we bringing in? I know James Borrego's hot right now with the Los Angeles search. Is it Kenny Atkinson? He's not, any younger than Mike Brown is.
Right.
He's not any more experienced than Mike Brown is. I don't know. Like, I don't think that there's any massive coach out there that makes a lot more sense than Mike Brown, who is young, has experience, and is a winner. Like, he's a winning coach.
We're sitting here, you're talking about sign up for 3 more years of this. Yeah, you'd sign up for 3 more years of this. I said the numbers last week, and I'm going to say it again. This is per Statista, my favorite website. The value of the National Basketball Association franchise, the Sacramento Kings, increased markedly in 2023, reaching $3.3 billion US. This was an increase of around 64% from the previous year when the figure stood at $2.03 billion. A Billy.
Yeah.
Don't play with me. Don't play with my name.
Right.
That's what I'm telling them.
Yeah.
And now you got the streets talking, saying that I'm the issue. Really? You didn't have pyrotechnics before me.
Yeah.
No. You didn't have a lot of these things. Didn't have the beam.
That's for sure. Definitely didn't have the
beam. Didn't have the beam.
Yeah.
So don't play with me. Or I need 15. And don't play these games.
Exactly. Or find out.
I say 15. Okay, you go down to 13. Exactly. I still won.
Settle. That's right.
I still won. Now I feel like I'm back on Shark Tank.
Exactly. No, I mean, I think that Mike Brown's got all the leverage, man. I mean, he is he's the guy that's done the thing that everybody, there's been tons of coaches that have came in here and said they're going to change the situation. It's going to be different with me around. And every single coach had some different version of the same result that wasn't playoffs, that wasn't a winning record. Mike Brown walked in, changed the culture from day one. And, everybody's been behind it too. It's not like there, I'm sure there's a couple, I don't know how Chimezie Metu felt about his role. I'm sure Sasha wasn't thrilled about his role this year, but the majority of players who play for him, and most importantly, the best ones, have his back 100%. I haven't heard De'Aaron Fox even throw slight shade towards Mike Brown. I haven't heard Malik Monk, and we know they go back and forth. We haven't heard Malik Monk once throw Mike Brown under the bus. I just don't see how. And then there's player development too. We've seen players get better under Mike Brown, which is not something that has been the case with other coaches. He has a great staff as well. That's a huge part of what Mike Brown brings, is the connections that he has. I just don't see how you can look at the situation and then just confidently say, no, we can do better than this.
Do you see any connection between Mike Brown, his extension, and Malik Monk, and the idea of keeping Malik Monk? Because like I said, I was listening to the High Flyer on with the Drive guys last week, and he talked about how he wasn't sure that Malik Monk would fit in with the Spurs and Malik Monk from a coaching standpoint. And yeah, there have been some situations with Mike Brown and Malik Monk that have made me uncomfortable.
Sure.
But that's their relationship.
Yes.
And I do think that they have a pretty darn good relationship. And if Malik Monk is that important to you, that's not to say that Malik Monk would necessarily stay if you keep Mike Brown for sure, because money talks, we get all that. But if you're adding more instability by not extending Mike Brown and I'm Malik Monk and you're trying to sign me for 4 years, no.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know who you're going to bring in. I don't even know if I'm going to like this person, this coach. So I think even from that
100%.
respect, even if you don't know if Malik Monk's going to stay either way, but I think you have a better chance of him staying if Mike Brown is there.
Yeah,
that's part
absolutely.
of the familiarity.
Mhm.
If you blow that up, then I might as well go to a different team because I don't know if I'm going to like that coach either.
100%. Yeah, you have to make this situation as attractive as possible for Malik, and part of that is knowing what is going to be there. And whether or not him and Mike Brown's relationship is perfect or not, it's okay, at least I know what this situation is. The worst would be, okay, yeah, like you said, Mike's going to be there maybe another year, but then it could just be a whole different situation where I could hate the coach, I could love the coach even more, who knows, but it's just the unknown. And if you're going to sign, to your point, if you're going to sign up for an unknown, I might as well go sign up for an unknown in Orlando where I'm not going to get taxed on anything and I'm going to make the same, if not more money, and get more opportunity, all of it. So you have to try and make Sacramento as attractive as possible. And I guarantee one of the first, if not the first thing Malik Monk is going to ask is, well, probably what's my role, but tied into that is who's going to be dictating my role? Who is going to be the coach of the future? Is it going to be Mike, or is there plans to move on from him? Because I think either way, if you're a free agent, you need to know where that team is standing. So the best thing would definitely be avoiding that question in total and just saying, Mike is here, Mike is extended, he's going to be here.
Yeah. I mean, look, we already know about the transfer portal in college and how that affects players and how they just get out of Dodge whenever they can. From the 916, just reward the guy for doing a really good job. Not a great job. This is from the 916, but a really solid job. And he doesn't shop for the groceries. He just makes the meal, a really good meal. I will be back to eat more. That's what we got to keep saying. And I've been saying that. We got a listener in 916 because I've been talking about the refrigerator and getting the ingredients all season long. That's Monty.
Bottle Rock.
All right. That's around one with Sean Cunningham. But that is what it is. He just makes the meal. Don't talk about if you're talking about not utilizing the players, cool, let's have that conversation. You think Sasha could have done more? Okay, we can have that conversation. But the idea that, why is he playing Harris? Because he has to. We did the breakdowns. Trey Lyles had a down year. These guys had down years. He lost Kevin Huerter after his down year. Then he lost Malik Monk, who was having a career year. This is what happens, all right? Pay the man and stop playing around. When we come back, who wasn't playing around this season? That's Domantas Sabonis, third team All-NBA. Put some respect on his name. We break all that down. And don't forget, at 12 o'clock, we do another mock draft, this one from Sports Illustrated, and we are giving away Steve Trevino tickets at 1 p.m. as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Live and
local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
The Giants are facing the Pirates right now, and the former Giants.
I was going to say, it looks like they're playing the Giants.
Yes, the former Giants are having a field day. They are having a good old time against the San Francisco Giants, against their former teams. One, Joey Bart, and it's pretty fitting while the Giants are dealing with a ton of struggles when it comes to their catcher position with injuries, things like that. Joey Bart just hit a grand slam. And Chris, I'm telling you.
I don't think there's a better feeling in the world, right?
We watched, and he stared at it.
He sure did.
For a little bit, and then just dropped the bat. Chris, the bat would still be in the air if it was me.
I was hoping for a Jose Bautista.
Oh, my. You know he wanted
chuck
to.
it into like
just
the
throw
fifth
it
row.
at Farhan.
Yeah.
Just throw
it
across the country at Farhan. Just smokes him. So Joey Bart does that.
Dude, it was 430 too. It was straight center.
Yeah.
He ripped it.
Yeah, he stared at it for a bit. Andrew McCutchen, who, yes, he's still playing. Andrew McCutchen, leadoff DH. That's funny. He hit a ball that Luis Matos almost robbed as he ran into the fence. The ball popped out of his glove. So Andrew McCutchen is having a good time out there as well. When, you got Paul. Yeah, then he almost hit another one. Well, Paul Skeens, who is a stud for the Pirates, honestly, the Giants came out and, they were able to put up a run in the fourth inning, and you thought, okay, maybe they're going to be able to do the unthinkable as, this guy is really one of the top young pitchers that's coming up right now. And right after that is when Joey Bart went ding-dong Donkey Kong. So that one is in the bottom of the sixth, as the Giants try to get a win against the 23-27.
Can I
Pirates.
ask you a random baseball question? It actually just kind of popped up on my feed here. Somebody put out here, Joey Bart was Mason Black's catcher in Sacramento for a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that factor in? Would that factor in at all to like familiarity with somebody's pitching?
Yeah, I used to think that when I was younger, shouldn't catchers be really good hitters because they get such a good view?
Yeah, they get a perfect view.
Yes, of pitches and what
probably
they do.
Scouting
like
reports
that.
too, right?
I think it probably helps.
Right.
I think it probably helps. I think what I used to think as far as catchers being better hitters is concerned, probably not. Right, just because whatever.
Right, there's
if
no
you're not
statistical correlation.
You know what's coming. Yes,
Sure.
It's different. It's actually quite the opposite. If you get a hitting catcher, that's almost found money.
Right.
But I will say that I would be on board with that. If there's somebody that you used to catch,
right,
and you know what they have,
tendencies as well, like it's a 2-1 count, like he usually
probably
goes
going to
low,
throw this.
fastball. Yeah,
I would feel good saying that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes, it logically makes sense. But I feel like there's probably, I'm sure there's, especially in baseball, I'm sure there's some statistical argument for it. But I feel like if you were to just look at the raw numbers, there's probably not like a direct correlation. But it makes sense.
Nowadays, you can probably find something. Yeah. Former teammates, catcher, pitchers, and what their batting average and stats are. I would assume,
and their BOBA,
probably,
and their WOBA,
and their WOBA, and their ex WOBA. Don't forget that as well. I would say that there's probably a correlation there. And when it comes to being I almost said all-star. When it comes to being a stud,
that's right.
That is directly correlated with Domantas Sabonis as he earns second straight Chris. Third team All NBA. First team was Jokic, Shea, Luka, Giannis, Jason Tatum. Second, Brunson, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard. And third, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, and Domantas Sabonis. What were your initial thoughts when it came up? And I was looking, as soon as I saw it posted, I was looking. I said, oh, because you had trained me, Chris. I thought the name was not going to be there.
I didn't think it was going to be there. I just straight up didn't think it was going to be there because I thought he was going to get overlooked. I just didn't think it was going to catch the eye of too many people. And I thought, especially with the season the Celtics had, I was like, they're going to get 2 All-NBA guys. I was afraid that the Lakers were going to, bump them because they were going to get 2 All-NBA guys.
Right.
The Lakers actually did somehow get 2 All-NBA guys, but finished as a 7 seed. Someone's got to explain that one to me. But or was it even the 7 seed? Wasn't it? Were they the 8 seed?
Lakers.
I can't remember where they finished, but they were not a top seed. And
they were 7 because they got the Nuggets.
Right. Or they won. At least they whatever. Point is they were not a top seed, and they
were in the play.
Still got 2 of their All-NBAs. Same with the Suns even. Devin Booker and KD both made it. Only one Timberwolf makes it. That's pretty interesting. So I kind of thought that just they would reward other teams with having more than one guy, and it turns out that only 2 of them had multiples. So that kind of worked in Sabonis's favor, and especially with this season, it not being by positions, I thought that was going to affect him, that it wasn't necessarily Sabonis was clearly one of the best 3 centers in the NBA, but the distinction of and the point of these All-NBAs and having 3 teams, was he one of the best 15 players in the NBA this season? I just wasn't sure that he was going to get recognized for it, especially after the season he had last year. I think so. I think it'd be really tough to say that a guy who had, it's like 77 double-doubles out of 82 games and played 82 games. It'd be really tough to say he wasn't one of the 15 most impactful players this season.
Well, now you have, and shout out Sabonis for getting it done, and he just continues to be that steady Eddie, but the steady Eddie that is just an outstanding version of that. So now let's get to the conversation as far as De'Aaron Fox. So obviously we read off the names, and let's just focus on third team. Third team, you have Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, and Domas, okay? Besides that, when you get to the others that receive votes, the guys that had more votes than De'Aaron, Jaylen Brown, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama, Zion Williamson, Paolo Banchero, and then De'Aaron Fox. So Jaylen Brown had 50 points. Paul George had, after Jaylen Brown's 50, a lot of people probably, that was the guy you thought it was going to be Jaylen instead of Sabonis. Then it goes Paul, then it's a huge drop off from 50 points to 16. George with 16, Maxey with 16, Gobert with 12, Wembanyama with 11, Zion with 11, Banchero with 10, De'Aaron with 9. We don't do homo radio. I don't think De'Aaron got snubbed. I'm just not, I just don't know where you put him.
No, yeah, I definitely don't think he got snubbed. And I'm looking at the points too. Sabonis was actually third for third team points. He had 104 total points. Tyrese had 75 and Booker had 70. So they cleared it pretty significantly over Jaylen Brown. So at least from the voters' perspective, there's not a lot of snubbing or a lot of it wasn't like too hard of a decision. I think De'Aaron just didn't quite play well enough, man, especially when you consider, the season that Jalen Brunson had and the fact that the Kings would have had to get 2 guys in there. They would have had to play really, really well. They would have had to have been a top 5 seed in order for them to get De'Aaron and Domas both on that list. It's tough. I mean, especially like the season Tyrese had in terms of, his star building and the in-season tournament definitely pretty much cemented that he was going to be a first 3 team. You can maybe argue Devin Booker doesn't make a ton of sense there, but De'Aaron Fox, I don't think, especially to end the season, wasn't playing his best basketball. And I think that's always going to hurt you. So I really don't have any issue with De'Aaron not making it. It also, from the Kings perspective, is actually pretty good because not that it ultimately matters because he is going to sign a less significant contract extension now that he did not make All-NBA. So there's that from the Kings perspective.
I'll put it to you like this, and I'm not trying to pile on, but honestly, easier said than done, but it was a perfect opportunity for De'Aaron. I mean, I don't know if he could have done enough, but you just made me think of something with how the season ended. If they win all those games, they lose.
Absolutely.
And De'Aaron balls out and they get the 6th seed.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have that conversation.
Absolutely.
But and that's just because of the injuries. If you pull your team missing your
Jaylen
6th
Brunson.
man of the year, exactly. Missing your 6th man of the year candidate, missing your sharpshooter, your other starter, and you pull them into the 6th seed in this West, okay, we can have that conversation. But they finished 9th.
Yep.
And they did not make the playoffs.
Nope.
So
you're not going to get recognized.
the guy
That's
who
just
did ball out all season long, look, we're Sacramento. You sit there, you talk about snubs all the time. I'm not going to have a conversation about getting 2 guys in when they were the 9th seed. Let's just celebrate Domantas Sabonis getting in as a third teamer because he deserved it for what he did all season long. And that streak and everything like that. All right, we see you, Steven, on the line. We will get to you on the other side. What, Chris, another homer?
Yep. This time it was Elliot Ramos.
As the Giants try to climb back, and I see on the Sack Chat as well, I guess Joey Bart hit another double. He's feeling it, and we're feeling it too. Coming up next, we break down Bleacher Report's article with dreams and realistic offseason additions. We'll tell you who they have the Kings getting and who they have going to look for Malik Monk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Thursday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies. Really nice day out there as temperatures come back to average. Highs will peak this afternoon in the lower 80s. Expect your overnight lows down to the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we buy from ourselves. Right now, you'll find interest rates as low as 1.99% APR on approved credit. See our certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings sale is on now at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords with low financing and lease options. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, it wasn't exactly a headline when the A's acquired infielder Abraham Toro from the Brewers in the offseason. After all, Toro had just 18 at-bats in the big leagues a year ago. But as we near the end of May, his emergence has become a good story. Entering the week, Toro is number 8 in the American League in batting and also in the top 20 in hits and on-base percentage.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
$1:00. Ticket giveaway to see Steve Trevino, America's favorite husband, the guy who speaks wife fluently, makes a stop at the venue for a night of nonstop laughs, and Sactown Sports wants you in the building, courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. That is at 1 p.m., and the event is June 1st. Your opportunity to win tickets at 1 p.m. Really, really excited to go over this Bleacher Report article, Chris. I think it was really well done, and I am fascinated by what's going to end up happening. It was written by Andrew Bailey. But before we get into that, Steven wants to talk some baseball, America's pastime. What's up, Steven? 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? What you got for us?
You know my phone call is brought to you by Folsom Lake Honda.
That's right. Always is. Always is. Nicely done.
Hey, real quick, man. How long did you play baseball for?
From age 7 to 23.
What was the fastest pitch you ever physically took?
96 miles per hour.
And how, my question is, I personally have never experienced anything over 70.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that comes in like the form of batting cages. All right.
Sure.
Let's just be real here. I was watching the Baseball Bat Bros on YouTube yesterday, and obviously I like bats. I like watching dingers. These guys, exit velo, everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I've never seen a pitch like that come at me before. Is there any way that you can quantify what that is like to be at the plate, to sit there and stare at a 90-plus mile-an-hour ball coming at you? Because I know you have to swing as soon as you see that ball released. Like dang near when the batter or when the pitcher is dropping his front foot,
right,
or when he's planting his front foot and he's doing the pivot, you dang near want to start swinging before that ball even comes out of his hand.
Right.
Is there any way that you could physically explain and quantify the difficulty behind that? If you're kind of catching my question.
Sure. No.
Terrible at my work.
Yeah, no.
Thank
You're
you
good.
so much, man.
You're good, Steven. Thank you. Yeah, well, I would say that coming up, there are always two types of hitters, and I don't know if it still exists because everybody throws so hard now, but they were basically hitters that react and hitters that guess. Me, and part of the reason I wasn't much of a power hitter is because I would react, okay? So fastball, react, off speed, react. The guys that tend to have lower batting averages but hit tanks are the guys that guess because they either guess right or guess wrong. When I faced the guy, and I think we looked his stats up, Chris, Pat Light.
Oh, it's this guy? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Pat Light. Well, that's the fastest clocked. Maybe
Right.
I faced harder.
Sure.
But Pat Light, who I believe we saw actually got a couple innings for the Red Sox. Pat Light, that was the first time I was really confused as to how anybody could just react to this.
Yeah.
It felt like, okay, you all have to be guessing because 95 and up, there's no
Right.
time
No.
to react, which is why I looked so bad on his highlight reel, because he decided to try out his sliders, and I'm just guessing fastball. Why would he not throw little old me a fastball?
Right.
He was just working on things for the scouts is what I think he was actually doing. But yeah, the ump cam, I think, is a really good indicator or really good way to see how crazy it is. But yeah, I would say you get above, if you 95 and above, I don't know how people react.
Mm-hmm.
I just think maybe if you see it more often, you just get faster and faster. But coming up, you have guessers and you have reactors. And when I saw 96, that was the first time I thought, yeah, I'd have to guess. Now, I would assume you do get used to it, and it's just you either get used to it or you don't play anymore.
Exactly, right.
Because I wasn't seeing that 96 plus that often. But yeah, I would say the best way I could describe it is you just have to guess. Unless you start seeing it all the time, but you have no time to decide, oh, that's a slider, that's a curveball, let me stay back on this. I'm just trying to make contact and beat it out. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, like, you could probably take a bomb off Mason Miller? That's what I'm hearing.
If I guessed correct, if I started my swing as his foot was being lifted, maybe I could make contact.
Yeah, maybe you could touch it.
Yeah, now you add. Yeah, now
that's
you
what
add.
I'm saying. Like, if it's 103,
yes,
that's where, like, you're talking 95.
You're talking from 96 to 103. I don't know.
I would just be scared.
Yeah,
it would be like if you're like a biker and a bus comes by you. It's like, what am I like? I would just get out of the way. I'd probably duck and dodge.
Or you just have a terrible looking swing where I'm just halfway.
Yes.
I'm just choked up on it, and I'm just trying to make contact, but there's no normal swing. So thanks for the question, Steven. You know I always like to talk a little bit of baseball. As we get into the Bleacher Report article, we will do that on the other side. Going to read through some of these texts here. Chris.
Oh, no.
And we did a version of this yesterday, and the person does also admit it. And don't forget to put your names on the text. We like reading the names. The 707, Chris, as we talk about Domas, All-NBA, and Halliburton, All-NBA, where do you think this is going? I know this conversation has been mostly run into the ground, but how well do you think Domas would have paired with Halliburton if Fox had been traded instead? Look, I get it, 707, on a day where they were both All-NBA.
Right.
I can't hate on that question at all.
No.
I think that we know that they're two different players in De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton. Your question has been, Chris, with how passive Halliburton can be, and just being aggressive on certain days versus being an aggressive player are two different things. Yep. I believe that you can correct me if I'm wrong, you've always said that the way Sabonis has played and the way Halliburton has played, essentially, if they played together, one of them ain't making All-NBA.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of redundant in the way they pass the ball and facilitate the basket.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't even know if I would maybe guess that they would probably run similar offense to what they do now, but who knows? I mean, maybe they don't even run the dribble handoff offense the same. On the surface level, I would say at the very least, like, you'd probably see more pick and roll with those two than you probably do with De'Aaron Fox, just because Tyrese is such a good playmaker. You could really get defenses to shift if those two run the pick and roll, and then Tyrese has the ability to take that three where De'Aaron kind of doesn't. So especially, I mean, you see the range of that half-court shot the other day. Not that that's super normal, but it's not uncomfortable for him to take shots from out there. That's where there's an element of stretching the floor that they don't quite have right now. And then also, I mean, we talk about it more so when we have the roundtable around, but when you're building out this Kings team, you kind of like, it's almost a non-negotiable that people on the floor with Sabonis and Fox have to be able to shoot.
Right.
If you have Halliburton and Sabonis, with Halliburton being a plus shooter, you maybe could afford to have a 4 who can't shoot or a 2 who can't shoot, because Tyrese kind of makes up for it with his shooting ability. So it would definitely be interesting, and I think things would look a whole lot different. I don't necessarily know if it would be better or worse, but I definitely know it would be a much different look, and I still am not 100% sold that Tyrese Halliburton would look like the Halliburton that he looks like today, because I think he's so naturally going to say, Sabonis, like, you're right now a better player than me. I would rather just feed you constantly.
Yeah.
I could be a supporting cast member, but I don't think Tyrese initially, when he came to the NBA, ever thought of himself as a number one guy. I think he always thought he was going to be a piece to the puzzle. And then when he got to Indiana, they kind of told him, no, brother, you are the puzzle. We do everything around you. And I think that kind of forced a bit more of aggression into his game. And even now we see him struggle and revert on occasion back to the Tyrese that we saw here on occasion is him, being okay with taking under 10 shots in a game. And that just can't be the case.
Yeah, you would still need some specific pieces around them. And if you had those pieces right, in my mind, I'm thinking even some version of Tyrese, Sabonis, and either Siakam or Tyrese, Sabonis, or Miles Turner.
Yeah,
I think you'd be cooking a little bit, but you would still need other pieces. You would still need those guys that could shoot. I think, maybe if you swapped out, because the whole thing with Siakam was, would that be redundant?
Mm-hmm.
So if you put Sabonis on the Pacers and take away Siakam, how good are they, right? I think they'd be pretty darn good, but I think they would just all be different. Okay.
Tyrese has also missed a lot of time.
And Tyrese doesn't defend at all.
At all.
And
ask our friend Brandon Nunez.
And that's a day where it would be nice to say, well, De'Aaron was all defense.
And the league in steals.
At least he led the league in steals. We do know that much. And I think everybody here has been riding for the steals conversation. And maybe it'll get there one day, but it is not there yet. Coming up next, we go over the Bleacher Report article and what Andy Bailey wrote as far as dream targets for the Kings and realistic target for the Kings. I'll give you a hint on the realistic target. Chris is going to be way more excited than I am. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I've been rolling the past few months in my new Mercedes EQS electric SUV. My EQS is without a doubt the best looking fully electric SUV on the road. Friends tell me it's got the most stunning interior of any car they've ever ridden in. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They have redefined what top-notch customer service feels like. They are simply the best. A half hour from SAC, a short drive off the I-5 right at the 8 Mile Road exit. It's the best car buying experience you'll ever have, and it's always online at mbofstockton.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors.
We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with installation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. $12,000 off every Silverado LT 5.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price. Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 6324.
Made a great deal at Maida.
From the 916 on the other side of what Chris and I have been talking about, what Carmichael Dave talked about during his show before we get into this Bleacher Report article from the 916. Am I the only one who thinks the steals stat for Fox is overrated? I feel like he just hunts steals, which causes him to commit bad fouls and also causes him to get lost on defense sometimes. I would rather him focus on just playing good defense and just get the steals naturally instead of hunting them. That is from Andres. Thank you for that, Andres. I do think there is a form of, how should I put this? Steals being kind of weaselly.
Sure, yeah.
Not a true indicator of stand-up defense for whatever reason.
Oh, definitely.
When I watch De'Aaron Fox just with the naked eye, it doesn't look to me like he's hunting steals. That's just the way he plays defense.
Yeah.
And if I think what Andres is basically saying could cause him to commit bad fouls and or just get blown by.
Yeah, I think it's the Allen Iverson thing where Allen Iverson would lead the league in steals, but nobody in the world would say Allen Iverson was even a good defender.
Yeah, I think Steph was doing that too.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, sometimes it's a matter of what the coach is telling you. Sometimes I do think Mike Brown is telling De'Aaron, like, be as aggressive on the ball as possible because you're fast. No one's going to be able to get around you. And so if you just make somebody's life incredibly difficult on the ball, poke at it, whatever you need to do to be a pest, do it. And I think it does bother people a lot. I do hear what the texts are saying for sure. Andres, I definitely hear, and I definitely see sometimes it feels like De'Aaron does a lot of the risk taking. He does a lot of going for broke on steals. He'll do the thing when people blow by you and you kind of, swipe the arm up. I hate that. That's the worst. You know who does that all the time? Brendan freaking Nunez. The worst. He's the worst.
When he plays basketball?
Yes. He's so annoying. He is the most annoying. I can go all day.
Brendan, come defend yourself.
Yeah, no, he can't. He's gone. He's on vacation. But yeah, I mean, I do think that there's a bit of risk taking when it comes to De'Aaron and his style of play, which is definitely leading to him leading the league in steals. But at the same time, he still does it, so he still gets the steals. It's not like they're necessarily cheap. It's just when we talk about him being an elite defender, sometimes using steals as your argument might be semi-flawed.
Yeah, I don't think that De'Aaron is trying to go out there and say, I'm going to yes, I don't know if he's steal hunting.
Yes, like I don't know if it's intentional.
This is stat padding.
Yes,
this is the Russell Westbrook, get out of the way, let me get this rebound, or even though the game is already decided, I want to pile on the points to help my average. I don't think De'Aaron's doing that. I think it's just, if you have a problem with how he plays defense sometimes, I think that's fair, but I don't think he's doing it because what's the point? He had the most steals and didn't even make all defense. So what would be the point of steal hunting when steals, if you were block hunting or whatever else, that would make more sense because those things are more appreciated. Steals already aren't appreciated. So I don't think De'Aaron is going out there saying, I want to lead the league in steals because it's not even appreciated.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think it's just a coincidence that he happened to lead the league in steals. I just think I think more so what Andres is maybe getting at is that, I think the problem is that you see the shift in intensity from De'Aaron. And like there are moments where it feels like, oh, he's getting steals because, like I described, he's really pressing up on somebody and making their life hell. But I think it's the stark contrast of, oh, we see upset Fox. And there's direct moments that we see, oh, there is an uptick in defensive intensity. And I think it's the fact that it's not there all the time that it feels like, oh, he's just being more intentional now versus sometimes it might feel like he's going through the motions. But I think some of that is the offensive burden that he has to hold. He can't be mad Fox every single moment or every fourth quarter because he just has so many responsibilities, especially at the end of the year.
Speaking of improving on defense, and the Timberwolves, they were just a brick for a lot of that game. But Timberwolves players shot 3 for 11. They shot 27.3% when defended by Kyrie Irving in game 1. And Kyrie was a guy who was kind of seen as a cone earlier in his career. Chris, I think some of that is gaining weight too.
Oh yeah,
I think
for
some
sure.
of
It's just being an adult.
we've
versus
seen
kids.
we've seen some of these guys, and I don't know if it's dad weight or man weight, whatever you want to call it. We've seen some of these guys just later in their career just be better defenders because they're just harder to move. They don't lose. They might lose a little bit of quickness, but what they gain in muscle and weight is more important on the defensive end. All right, let's get into this Bleacher Report article from Andy Bailey and who they had for dream and realistic offseason additions. Quickly, some of the fun ones, and then we'll end with the Kings. The Warriors, their dream edition, Kevin Durant. Their realistic edition, this one cracked me up, Alec Burks.
Woo, love it. Wow.
Okay.
Love that.
Lakers.
That's almost just like a microcosm of like Warrior fandom.
Oh, I love.
general.
Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah,
Next, you have the Lakers, and this one is just Lakers are going to win either way, pretty much. He has their dream as Donovan Mitchell, and he has their realistic as Trae Young.
I mean, yeah, both of those honestly feel like realistic options.
Exactly.
Which is scary.
And last but not least, and we'll include the write-up that he has in here as well. For the Kings, he has Mikal Bridges for the dream. For the realistic, I'm not going to like this. They have Kyle Anderson.
Slow-mo.
You're
not a Kyle Anderson.
No, I told you I'm not. Okay, here are the write-ups for Mikal Bridges. The Sacramento Kings have a pretty stable starting 5, and Harrison Barnes is very much a part of that stability. But his spot also feels like the easiest one to upgrade, in part because Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter are much younger than him. Moving him and multiple firsts for Mikal Bridges would undoubtedly raise Sacramento's ceiling without really upsetting the pecking order currently led by Domas and De'Aaron Fox. The realistic one for Kyle Anderson, as has been detailed for other teams here. Yeah, Kyle Anderson was used in a couple different situations in this article. Anderson would bring more distribution and multi-positional defense to a second unit that'll be short on talent if Monk leaves in free agency, and something within the range of the non-taxpayers mid-level exception is probably right where Anderson's next salary will be. And Anderson played pretty well yesterday. I know some people were saying I wasn't familiar with your game. I'm great with Mikal Bridges and not giving up Keegan for that. Bleep them first. That's how I feel about it. If you got Kyle Anderson, if that's the only thing you move, I guess you would. Are you keeping Harrison Barnes in this situation?
Oh yeah.
So you just add Kyle Anderson to this team. Chris, I feel like I'm eating a Carolina Reaper.
No, man, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. A big movement's going to happen. They're going to bring in somebody. Somebody big is going to be brought in. There's no way Kyle Anderson is going to be. I don't believe Kyle Anderson will be the biggest addition of this offseason. I would welcome the Kyle Anderson addition 100%, but there's just no way that the Kings can come into next season and realistically try and convince people that if Kyle Anderson's your best signing of the offseason and your best addition, I don't know how many people are going to be signing the Kings in pen or in Sharpie even for the playoffs. That feels like you're probably going to be in the same exact spot. A little different, but same spot probably. So I mean, I'm with you on the. Yeah, that's not going to get me super excited and doesn't make me feel like there's going to be a big ceiling raise for this team. But I like Kyle Anderson as a piece, not as the piece.
Yeah, if it's Kyle Anderson, it better be 2 or 3 other
Yes.
players.
Yes, please.
That is exactly what we would need for me to not eat that Carolina.
Yeah, and I don't know if that so they're saying mid-level, so free agency as well. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Make
exactly.
sure we're not trading anything substantial for Kyle Anderson.
Coming up next, he is a 6'2" and a quarter guard without shoes and carries a 6'8" and 3/4 wingspan. We reveal who Sports Illustrated has the Kings taking in this year's draft. Pro comparisons, Derek White and Josh Hart. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
It's the Memorial Day sales event going on at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi folks, Leonard Harrington here, and I'm here to tell you we've got the savings, the selection, and of course the service to make Memorial Day better than ever. You know, the start of the summer is the perfect time to get into that new Ram truck, Dodge Charger, Chrysler 300, or Jeep Wrangler that you've been thinking about. And of course, there's plenty in stock to choose from. We've got the colors, the styles, and the options you've been looking for. Maybe you need service on your vehicle. From routine maintenance to major repairs, let our factory-trained service techs get you back on the road at no time at all. It's our Memorial Day sales event, so why not kick off the summer right now? Only at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, right off 99 in Kettleman, and open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the low price center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl. Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Welcome to the Tap House Restaurant at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course. With an array of local craft brews from a selection of 20 taps, the Tap House menu boasts freshly made sandwiches, crisp salads, and a variety of specialty entrees. The Tap House is the perfect place for a round after your round at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course, especially during happy hour from 3 to 6 daily. Drop by the Tap House Restaurant for scenic views, exquisite food, and a hearty welcome. The Tap House at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmer.
Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Paige Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Steve Trevino, America's favorite husband who speaks wife fluently, makes a stop at the venue for a night of nonstop laughs, and Sactown Sports wants you in the building, courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. Nate will pick the number. He's very excited for this number. I don't know what it is about this number, but he's very excited about this number. Might have a hidden message in the number. I don't know what's up with the number, but 1 o'clock, your chance to win Steve Trevino tickets. Call line, text line on fire right now. Want to make sure we get to our prospect for the day, but we always have time for our guy, Doug, 916-339-1140, if you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Doug? What you got for us?
Joe, it's nice to be referred to as our guy, Doug. I'll tell you, that made my day.
That's awesome. Well, it's true, Doug.
All right, here we go. I think I'm not sure if I talked to you guys about this one, but it was more, I felt for you guys was a personal preference, but I really like Derek Jones Jr., and it's not going to cost you a lot to get him. Does he move the needle? No. But he's a guy that would strengthen your bench? Yes. Also, I like Sam Hauser. Boston doesn't have enough time in the game to be able to play him enough, and the guy's lights out. I mean, I'd love to we need to upgrade and have better players. You can't stand pat and expect everybody to get better when you got guys that are already better that aren't going to cost you a lot of money. And then I like Obi Toppin as well. So these are all, small improvement stuff. It's not a big bang. And then, as I said before, is with the Supermax coming up in a couple of years for Fox, I don't know what kind of money we're going to be sitting on and stuff to be able to do anything else. But those are small improvements. Love your show. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Doug. Well, you bring me to a good question, and I know it's hard to, a wise man once told me, once someone has an idea about you, it is very, 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 very hard to change. And I throw this to you, Chris, with one Derek Jones Jr. The more you watch him play throughout this playoff series, as we've talked about how you feel essentially he's just an athlete, has he grown on you at all or not yet? Because I am not in love with Derek Jones Jr., but I do think I like him more than you did going into the playoffs. And I think he really could help this Kings team. I do like the athleticism. Even showed a little bit of playmaking these last couple games. Have you been moved at all, Chris? Or you would still need to see more?
No, I mean, I still need to see more. I see him maybe as like if he can improve his defense, but he's a little bit slight of frame. He's a terrible shooter from three. Best year of his career that was this year from three, 34%. That's not really somebody that I think the Kings look for. 3 rebounds a game. It's okay in 25 minutes. I just don't really know what he's providing if it's not just athleticism. And if he can be a defender, I think that there's a role for him. I just haven't really ever been super impressed with Derek Jones. He's averaging 10 points a game, which is pretty good for him considering in this playoffs, shooting 50%, 35 from 3. It's fine. I just don't really know what exactly his role would be here in Sacramento.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And, even as Doug was saying some of the other names, Obi Toppin, Sam Hauser, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My question to you is there a roster log jam? Some of these guys and, off the top of our heads, who's on contract, who's not. When you have guys filling the roster, and I don't know what happens next with Keon because of the two-way situation, if he is automatically on the – I think he would be just based on being – he signed the contract, right? So he's back. So Keon's back. Then you get the Duartes of the world. What are we doing? Is Kessler Edwards back? There's just a lot of guys. There's too many
those guys, they have to re-sign those guys. Kessler Edwards, that is. At least.
Kessler Edwards. So Kessler Edwards, Duarte, Keon Ellis.
It's Malik, Kessler, JaVale, Alex Len, Jordan Ford, and Jalen Slauson all need to be re-upped. All of those guys technically do not have a contract for next season with the Kings.
Okay. And we think
so they have 12
probably
currently signed. They have Mason Jones on a two-way, Colby Jones, Keon Ellis, Duarte, Mitchell, Vezenkov, Lyles, Murray, Herter, Barnes, Fox, Sabonis. Those are the people who have contracts for next season.
So Mason Jones obviously can go back to the G League because it's a two-way. Keon cannot.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And Colby Jones can, right?
Yes. I mean, yeah. Keon could go down to the G League. It's just he's not on a two-way contract anymore. So he's not limited in how many games he can play up. But I think you can actually be called down whenever. I think even Trey Lyles could be called down.
I meant more Colby Jones. I'm trying to figure out all those additions from Doug sounded great. I'm trying to figure out how many roster spots are going to be even available. And obviously we don't know about the Malik Monks of the world, but when you have roster spots clogged up with Chris Duarte and Sasha Vezenkov, out of all the three names that Doug said, you're probably only able to get one.
Yeah, if you're not making any trades this offseason, you can easily get rid of those guys. You can do 3-for-1s and drastically diminish the size of your roster if you want to do that, go that route. You can have up to 18 players on a roster, so they still, even right now, have 6 spots available. Let's assume they bring Malik back. That's 13. Alex Len, JaVale, I don't think one of those – I think maybe Alex Len would be back. I don't think Kessler Edwards will be back. So you could say the Kings have – like 4 open roster spots at the very least. And I think they have to have, or you can have up to 3 two-way players. So included in that 18. So they can have 2 more two-way guys. And then that would be 14. And then Malik would be 15. So you can really have 3 non-two-way guys that you can still add.
Yeah. I like the names, Doug. I really do. You're probably going to have to pick one, and out of those guys, who would you want the most? I think we'd have to really break down what are the needs of the Sacramento Kings and what they will be. Malik Monk is such a huge piece of this. All right, Chris, today's mock draft is brought to you by Sports Illustrated.
Yes, it's still living and breathing, just barely. It operates more as like a fan network now, and this is more specifically for the NBA draft. So this is the SI NBA draft portion of their website where they focus solely on the draft, not necessarily on any specific teams, which is kind of the route that Sports Illustrated has taken nowadays. And in this mock draft, it's a name that we have seen before for the Kings selecting at number 13. At number 1, they have Alex Sarr. This is interesting to me. At number 2, they have the Washington Wizards. This is definitely the highest I've seen this guy go. Donovan Klingett at number 2 to Washington.
Wow.
That's really interesting. Number 3, they have Zachary Rasacher. I got to figure out how to pronounce that name.
Just do it during the break.
Nikola Topic going number 4 to San Antonio. Number 5, they have Rob Dillingham. Number 6 to Charlotte, they have Ron Holland. Number 7, this is the furthest I've seen Stephon Castle's name slip down boards to the Blazers. At number 8, they have the Spurs with their second pick taking Reed Shepherd. At number 9, they have Matthias Buzelis going to Memphis. At number 10, they have who we talked about yesterday in Cody Williams. Going to Utah. At number 11, they have your guy Dalton Connect going to the Bulls. And the pick before the Kings, the Oklahoma City Thunder take Allen's best friend Tejan Ceylon at number 12, leaving the Kings with not many forward options. You could argue not any forward options, depending on how you feel about Tristan da Silva, and leading the Kings to do something that I think Allen would really, really hate, and that's taking a 6'2 guard in Devin Carter, who we talked about a couple days ago. He was mocked to the Kings in the Bleacher Report mock draft. Allen didn't like it then. I don't think he likes it now. Just to refresh everyone on Devin Carter, he is a junior out of Providence, averaged 19.7 points per game, 3.6 assists, 1.8 steals, 1 block, so 2.8 stocks per game, 47% from the field, 37% from 3, and the big number to highlight is 8.7 rebounds from a 6'2 and 1/4 guard without shoes. And he carries a 6'8 and 3/4 wingspan. The pro comp that they have is Derek White. The pro comp that I like more is Josh Hart. He fits his measurements a little bit better. Josh Hart was 6'3 with a 6'8 wingspan, and that's kind of pretty much exactly where Devin Carter falls. So that would be where I think he would probably find his role in the NBA, is pretty much a hustle guard forward, a lot in the spirit of Josh Hart. I feel like Derek White is just a little bit too much of a playmaker to be compared to Devin Carter. 3.6 assists per game.
Cool.
Do you want me to read his? I'll read his defensive highlights. He stood out. He was a standout defender who can really lock down on the perimeter and get after ball handlers. He's not the biggest guard, as Allen hates, but has a lot of strength, allowing him to defend either guard position or hold his own against wings. Those are college wings. I don't know if I necessarily trust him against NBA-sized wings. He's also an elite rebounder for a guard and hopes and really helps out the bigs on the glass. Offensively, he's aggressive. He's a powerful driver in traffic, a high-level three-point shooter, hitting nearly 38% from 3 his junior season. It all sounds good, but I do think at the end of the day, I wonder where his minutes would come in his first year. Maybe because the problem with being 6'2 is you have to play a guard. You have to play a guard position. And even then, 6'2 as a shooting guard is pretty dang small. I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but he would just have to be really, really good defensively or be a really good shooter in order to kind of justify his minutes. Again, this is a situation where I feel like the Kings would be better off just trading for what you know than to take a flyer on a guy that you just might not have minutes for.
Yeah, and for whatever it's worth, they are in the Big East, so they were playing St. John's, DePaul, Xavier, Villanova, Marquette, Georgetown, Connecticut, Creighton, Boston. I'm looking at some of the teams that they play. For whatever it's worth, I know it doesn't.
He went off against UConn.
Yeah, for whatever it's worth. So they played some legit teams. They played Georgia. They played Kansas State. They played Wisconsin. So they definitely played some big teams.
I'm looking at in the Big East tournament, round 1 against UConn, his team lost 74-60. He had 24 points, 15 rebounds.
Okay, I'm into that.
2 blocks, 2 steals as well.
I'm into that. I'm not in, but I'm into that.
That's the kind of guy I think he is. I just think he's, like I said, just kind of the Josh Hart-esque, where he's just hustling. He's doing winning things all around the floor. I'm looking at his points. He's putting up a lot of points. There's a couple 30-point games in here, a lot of double-digit rebounding games from the guard position. I mean, that's definitely not nothing, especially for a Kings team. Besides, Domantas Sabonis really struggled on the rebounding side of things. I could see that you could maybe view that as a big enough plus to add him in. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, Keegan Murray is the only other King besides Domantas Sabonis to average over 5 rebounds a game. So maybe you look at Devin Carter and you say, this team desperately does need a rebounder and does need a good perimeter defender, and he kind of does check both of those boxes. So I wouldn't love it. I would probably have to convince myself of it, but I do I can definitely see where this guy could have some NBA skill.
Coming up next, we talk about how many untouchables there are in the NBA, also in other sports. And Sam, we see you. Sam wants to talk about the Kings guards and whether or not the Kings should look to take some, or if they're already log jammed enough. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
$45 minutes, your chance to win tickets to see Steve Trevino, America's favorite husband, the guy who speaks wife fluently, makes a stop at the venue for a night of nonstop laughs, and Sactown Sports wants you in the building. That is at 1 o'clock, and Nate will pick those tickets courtesy of Thunder Valley. It will be at the venue on June 1st. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Like we said, Dave's been in his bag, and we're going to get into a conversation that he had, I think it was on Twitter, as far as the untouchables in the NBA, and we might even expand to other sports as well. But first, Sam wants to talk about the guard situation in Sacramento. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? What you got for us?
Hey, well, how you doing today, number one?
Good, good.
You know, whatever happens to the guards the Kings already have, like Colby Jones, he was supposed to come up and be, a terrific guard, and he just fell back into the G League forever. Jordan Ford, he's going to do that. He fell back. If I was a Kings, I would not take another guard. I would try and bundle that pick and move Harrison Barnes and to somewhere. And, if we can't get someone that's a little better maybe than Harrison Barnes, it'll work a little bit harder all the time. But is there one player in the G League anywhere that would fit the Kings alongside Sabonis that is comparable to Harrison Barnes or better?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Sam. Good stuff. It's always tough kind of evaluating. I think Sam meant all of the G League. It's really hard to evaluate the G League. And I know, Chris, you went to some Stockton games. It's just really tough because you can cook in the G League and it does not translate to the NBA in a lot of different situations. As before we get to the rest of that conversation, just as we addressed what Sam asked with the guards, I think that you kind of answered your own question, Sam. That's exactly why I'm not thrilled whenever I hear or see a mock draft with a guard, because nothing happened to Colby Jones. Colby Jones still has a lot of promise. We talked to the Kings insiders for Sactown Sports and Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli, who went to more Stockton games, and Colby Jones doing some good things, right? And he got some time this season. Keon Ellis has now come out of nowhere. You already have that log jam. You got De'Aaron. You still have Kevin Huerter. You have Davion Mitchell. You have Keon Ellis now. You still have a lot of guys. So I'm just against it, and I can't see the Kings do it. I guess technically you don't not have Malik Monk yet. So I just counted about 5. So I don't understand. I think a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these outlets are looking at Malik Monk being gone and just putting in another guard there. But what we know here in Sacramento is that there's still a lot of guards. Now, what these guards can do may not fit that cohesively, but either way, I can't see them bringing in a guard, and the idea of just replacing Malik Monk doesn't make a ton of sense to me, or attempting to.
No. The only way a guard coming in makes sense to me is if he's a backup point guard, but then backup point guard doesn't make really sense to me to draft at 13. I feel like, again, you could probably go out on the free agency market and get some of those lower barrel guys. If I were to refer back to my free agency list or whatever, I feel like some of the names that I have for the cheaper free agency ball handlers, Tyus Jones, I think is going to get a pretty penny, but Monte Morris, DeLon Wright, Reggie Jackson, who knows, maybe even Russell Westbrook is an option at that spot. So that's the only way I could see the Kings taking a guard, because you're right. Even if Malik leaves, regardless of if you think he's going to get traded or not, still have Kevin Huerter on the roster, still have Keon Ellis on the roster, and you still have Colby Jones on the roster, who I am convinced that Colby Jones is going to get a role at some point next season, if not immediately next season. I think they really like what they have in Colby. I think they see a lot of potential in him playing anywhere from the 1 to maybe even the 3. I could see, especially if Colby's body develops, like we were talking about in the last segment. Just in general, it feels like as these guys get older, their body matures. Colby Jones is only 21 years old. That's pretty much like having another rookie out there. I definitely think that there's a logjam at that 2 guard position specifically, but I could understand maybe, and this is more so, and so saying this, I would almost put Davion Mitchell as one of those 2s as well. I think maybe you could say, hey, we need a backup playmaker behind De'Aaron Fox, especially if Malik Monk leaves. But that's really the only situation where I see a guard making sense. And to answer the second part of Doug's question, I don't really know if there's anyone hanging around in the G League that necessarily is like a diamond in the rough. A lot of people like Amani Bates. I last year was really on the Amani Bates hype train. I just think that that's not realistically a guy that is going to walk in and get rotational minutes. So I don't really know if there's any hidden gems lying around in the G League.
Well, you always think it could be, if that were the case, and thanks again, Sam, for the call. It always is the case for me. If nobody is checking for these guys and they're lesser teams than the Kings, then I don't know why the Kings would, if the Pistons aren't kicking the tires or the Blazers aren't kicking the tires, teams that are definitely trying to find something, if they're not kicking the tires on these guys, which I guess begs the question as we, we'll get to the rest of the Giants. It's a really good game, by the way. We'll get to the rest of the Giants and A's breakdown in our baseball segment coming up here, just as far as the minors are concerned, because Brian Reynolds was with the Giants and just hit a home run against the Giants earlier in the game. Yeah, it does beg the question of I don't want to say the purpose of the G League, but the G League has a specific purpose, but I don't think it has more of a purpose if they're guys that you drafted versus finding other guys. I don't know how to say it, but the idea that Sam kind of threw out there, to your point of, we just found this random guy in the G League. I think it more so happens. The Keon Ellis path is more realistic in the G League than that we found a random guy in the G League and now he's popping. It happens, but I don't feel like it happens that often.
Yeah, I mean, it happens here and there. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think the G League's a massive success. I definitely feel like, you do definitely get your young guys develop, but every so often you'll definitely find, your Jerome Simpsons. There's, we read that stat that 50% of the teams that were players or
Had
staff,
G League
everything.
experience, yeah.
53% of the people in the first round of the playoffs had G League experience. So I think you can definitely find some diamonds in the rough, and then you can definitely use it as a developmental system for guys that you have now, or guys like Jordan Ford, who, are definitely like kind of on the brink of maybe being a fringe NBA player, but are just kind of waiting around to see if there's another leap that happens in their career. So I think it's good for however you want to use it. I mean, the Kings use it in a really interesting fashion where they have a lot of veterans. They got Jeremy Lamb, they got Stanley Johnson, they've got even Mason Jones. They use it to try and curate an environment that is similar to an NBA style, so that Colby Jones, Jalen Slauson, they're playing in roles where some teams like Oklahoma City is just saying, forget it. Let's just we'll be the G League Ignite pretty much. We'll just throw our young guys out there, give them experience, and, don't really care if they win or lose as long as they're developing skills. That's all we care about. So it's just kind of whatever you want to get out of the G League, you can.
Untouchable conversation coming up. And later in the show, we have a final from Pittsburgh. We will get into the Giants as they get a W. They come back to stun the Pirates 7-6, and some A's talk as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
You've seen the specials on Amazon, Netflix, Showtime, and more. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
Babe, can I go with Steve and have a drink at the casino? And then she started to speak wife. She looked at him right in the face and she goes, you can do whatever you want. And his dumb goes, told you. I go, oh, no, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Steve Trevino, Saturday, June 1st, the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings sale is on now at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords with low financing and lease options. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
We see a lot of news about teens vaping, but teens see something else. Videos on social media that glamorize it and downplay the dangers of nicotine. How can parents talk so kids will listen? Use facts. 1. Nicotine can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can make teens more anxious. 3. Changes to the brain can be permanent. So even when it hides behind a new look, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
There is a different vibe at night at the Hagen Oaks Range, powered by Top Tracer. It's more relaxed, with golfers and newbies side by side enjoying the technology used on televised golf tournaments. Play a variety of fun games. Play Pebble Beach. Compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Or treat yourself to 9 holes on the Mackenzie putting course. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. And don't forget to check the summer-long free concert schedule at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmer Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Paige Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Coach Doug Christie here, letting you know it's the Folsom Lake Ford Memorial Day Sell-a-thon. Get low finance rates on approved credit and Memorial Day bonus cash now through Monday. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, over 35 years in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Sponsored by Xfinity. Enjoy the entertainment you love with the Xfinity Stream app. Turn any screen into a TV and take the entertainment you love wherever you go. Xfinity, we connect you to more of what you love.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Sean Cunningham will join us around 1 o'clock to talk all things Kings NBA draft. Mike
It's
Brown
time for the giveaway.
extension. And also Sac Republic. And last but not least, a little bit of Bottle Rock talk as Sean will be enjoying himself. And yes, it will be after the giveaway. After the giveaway. Giveaway is also at 1 o'clock. So, Chris, like we said, and it's so funny that I'm actually being so nice to Dave, and he's hopefully he's hearing some of this. He'll probably hear the next jab I give him. He'll hear that, but he won't hear all the flowers I've been giving him. So yesterday, Dave, somebody put out, hey, how many untouchable players are there in the league? And the initial post said Wemby, Jokic, Luka, Shea, Giannis, Steph, Anthony Edwards. Dave comes out and says Wemby, Jokic, and Luka. That's his whole list. So, of course, people were responding saying, hey, you don't have some of the other guys that the initial post had. You don't have Ant. You don't have Steph. You don't have Giannis. I think, honestly, and I'm just learning that I'm just not that high on this guy at all. The name that I think is the most polarizing when it comes to franchise guys, to me, especially now with this injury, it's Giannis. It's Giannis. Giannis, to me, I understand why he is untouchable, but I could definitely be convinced, especially if you're Milwaukee and you got a ring already. I could definitely be convinced.
What's the trade?
I don't know. But as far as
that's untouchable.
But as far as I'm not listening to trades, that's untouchable to me. I'm not listening.
I think untouchable to me is like you just can't. There's no trade you can come up with that would be accepted.
Okay, well, that's a different definition than me.
So your definition is just straight up, I'm not even remotely thinking of a conversation.
Yeah. And Wemby, you're not thinking of to Dave's point.
Sure.
Wemby, you're not thinking of a conversation. Jokic, you're not thinking of a conversation. And Luka, you're not thinking of a conversation. The rest, I would probably say Ant, I'm not thinking of a conversation. Shea, I would have
if they throw Ant for Shea,
I'd have that conversation. So
if I were OKC, I would.
Yeah. But I wouldn't do it the other way around.
No,
I don't think.
Yeah.
And then I already said where I stood with Giannis, and Steph is confusing, but Steph just at this age Sure.
I wouldn't put Steph. I think they wouldn't want to do it, but I think you could if you're throwing Giannis for Steph, you'd be just it would just be because you are emotional about letting go of Steph.
So
from a value standpoint, it makes sense.
So what is your list?
I would probably just take out Shea and Steph. I would go Wemby, Luka, Jokic, Ant, Giannis. That would be my NBA untouchables. I don't think I truly do think that if you were to offer Jokic for Giannis, I mean, they might think about it, but at the end of the day, I don't think they would do it. I think that there's just an element of no, we like our guy, and we think I don't know if they would think, oh, getting Jokic is a massive improvement for us over Giannis. I feel like at the very least they would say, maybe there's some things Jokic does that Giannis doesn't, but I think all in all, we like what we have. And I don't think that would be I think Steph would, again, only be an emotional thing. I feel like realistically, if you're saying, I do truly think if you were to throw Wembanyama for Anthony Edwards, I do think Minnesota would probably say, I think we're good. Yes, that's exciting.
Yeah.
But I think we like the guy that we have. I feel good about that. And I don't know if that's the case with Steph. I don't think that's the case with Shea. I think that you would consider those things with Shea. I hear you with Giannis, especially with the injuries, but I just think you still have to bet on the guy who's been an MVP and a defensive player of the year. Like that, those guys don't just come around often.
I have a name that might make me sound crazy, and I guess there are levels, and this is more specific to that team, but I think it would be an NBA conversation, and you can laugh me out the room if you want, but I feel like Paolo Banchero is close to that conversation. He's closer he's closer to that conversation than he is away from that conversation. But that's why I said it's more specific to the Magic versus
I feel like
NBA in general.
I also don't think he's necessarily at the same tier level as those other guys. I think he would be a version of untouchable, but I don't think a universal.
That's why I said, yeah. It's team. Now, if you're gonna do Paolo,
exactly.
Let's do De'Aaron. Let's do Tatum.
Right.
Let's open it up
exactly.
to just the team. So yeah, I won't put him there.
Yeah.
But I am really high on Paolo Banchero. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting conversation, especially when you look at who's in the conference finals right now, and Jason Tatum is not on the list.
No, and I think that he's earned himself not to be on that list.
Did he just plateau? Has he just plateaued?
No, he's like 25 years old.
Well, I'm saying right now. Why isn't he on the list?
He's not on the list because he just hasn't reached that level yet. I mean, I think if he would have won an NBA Finals early, if he would have beaten the Warriors, he's probably on this list. Funny enough, I just think I think he's probably the next one on the list. He's probably the next one that you would bring up or in that next tier of guys. It's just he hasn't quite done the thing that's made him 100% irreplaceable. That's the only thing.
But a lot of these guys, I mean, Luka hasn't, Ant hasn't.
Luka's just led the NBA in points and is averaging triple doubles, and Shea just led his team to a number 1 seed in maybe the toughest Western Conference that we've ever seen. Ant is in the conference finals right now.
And Wemby is Wemby.
I mean, yeah, Wemby. I mean, that goes without saying. I mean,
he's an alien.
Second in defensive player of the year. I mean, I was listening to Kevin O'Connor talk earlier today. He said he wouldn't be surprised if Wemby by the end of next season is one of the top 3 players in the NBA. So, that kind of almost goes without even saying. I just think that there's levels to it. And Tatum's close, but he's just not quite there. But, if he goes off the rest of this playoffs, he could definitely end up in that conversation. I think he's evolving. I don't know if he's plateaued, but I think he's figuring out where he can be most effective because he kind of was doing a lot of the the step back long 2s and step back 3s and kind of falling in love with, a lot of the step backs, but the skills and not necessarily worrying about domination and production and things like that. And it feels like at some point here, he's going to have to figure that part out if the Celtics are going to win.
Joel Embiid, it's just a non-starter because of injuries.
Yeah, way too injured.
Yeah, Joel Embiid is a no-go. I'm just looking here. I don't really see anybody else that would be a part of the conversation. I mean,
how about in other sports? I've got it listed down there. I mean, like in the NFL, I have Patrick Mahomes is an untouchable. I put Justin Jefferson down as an untouchable. I don't know if like is Micah Parsons an untouchable? Is Josh Allen like truly like you cannot come up with a trade? There is no universe in which you're picking Patrick Mahomes off of the Chiefs. Is there a universe where you could pick Josh Allen off of the Bills? I don't think so. Just because, especially when you consider how valuable that position is. But
yeah, I mean, no, but at the same time, I also don't know what the Bills are attempting to do right now.
Sure. Okay, yeah.
So I mean, they did just get some wide receiver help for him.
Sure.
But if you were in a transition year, sure.
Yeah. And I just don't like Micah Parsons. Is he somebody that Dallas would like? I don't know if there's any defensive players. Besides, I mean, to me, Mahomes and I know the Vikings are not trading Justin Jefferson for anything.
You know what's funny though?
Is Jamar Chase?
You know what's funny though? I would even say,
like, is McCaffrey? I wouldn't think so. I mean, he just got traded like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but McCaffrey on a good team is.
You wouldn't throw 3 first. If someone offers the Niners 3 first-round picks for Christian McCaffrey, that's a no.
Oh, then.
I mean, if you throw 3
it's the window. It's the window. Yeah. Chris,
it's also positional.
Chris, yes or no? Now that you mentioned Josh Allen, is Josh Allen Jason Tatum, and is Jason Tatum Josh Allen? Is that
sure? I guess in the sense of they seem to be bridesmaids, never the bride.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good. They're elite.
I just I mean, I would say
better.
They're probably. I mean, around. I would probably say Josh Allen in terms of the tier in which I think he is, but I also think for both of those guys, if they win a Super Bowl, like I think if they win their championship, I think things are completely different. Like I think that's the only reason why both of those guys are maybe underrated or disrespected the way that they are is simply because they haven't won it all when they've had to go against some generational people during their time. So I don't know. I mean, they're definitely in the same tier of, getting close, but not getting over the hump. But I do also, I would say so. Sure.
I think Josh Allen, of course, why I would probably lean to Josh Allen because he just asked to do more. Yeah. He's the quarterback. Sure. Jason Tatum, especially this season, Jason Tatum and the super team, even if he doesn't want to call it that. You don't have to, Jason. We'll call it that.
Real quick, baseball, just the Dodgers. Like it's just Ohtani and Mookie, right? Like
Adley. I see.
Yeah, I got Adley, Acuna, maybe Bobby Witt with how he's playing right now, but
Adley because that catcher position is so important.
Premium.
Ohtani,
absolutely. Mookie, even though Mookie was traded, I would put
Mookie. Or Mookie, I don't know if I think they just didn't want to pay Mookie.
Yes, that was the whole thing. Right?
Yeah. So they didn't want to cough up the money.
Freddie Freeman is on that.
No. I think it's Mookie, Ohtani, Adley. Off the top of my head.
No pitchers, probably, right? I couldn't think of any
Ohtani
pitchers.
No,
right. I mean, honestly,
when he's throwing, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, who else could be?
I mean, like Judge, I don't think I think maybe just tying in the fact that he's a Yankee. Like, I don't think the Yankees want to lose that.
Yeah, I mean, Soto, you can't put.
Soto just got traded. Yeah,
Garrett Cole, Julio Rodriguez, Trey.
Is Julio
Trey Turner?
Yeah, Trey Turner possibly.
Trout too injured these days. Bryce Harper, I could be convinced. It's tough in baseball.
Yeah,
because there's so many moving pieces, and I mean, look, we didn't even mention anybody on the Padres.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We didn't mention Fernando Tatis Jr. or anybody like that.
Bogarts,
yeah. There's probably a pitcher out there that you could find.
Right.
Baseball's tough. It just takes so much to get it done. All right, coming up next. Speaking of baseball, we take a trip around the bases as the Giants take care of business. We also highlight what the A's did. And after that, around 1 p.m., we have our Steve Trevino giveaway, and we are joined by Sean Cunningham. That's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win.
He's got the triple. Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia of Vacaville, where we're celebrating the arrival of a new season with unbeatable lease options on our 2024 lineup. As May blossoms with possibilities, it's the perfect time to immerse yourself in the exhilarating world of Kia, highlighted by the luxurious and versatile Kia Telluride. Throughout the May Springtime Sales Event, Kia of Vacaville is thrilled to showcase our top models with irresistible lease offers. Experience the thrill of driving the all-new Kia Sportage, seamlessly blending captivating design with dynamic performance. Dive into the impressive fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel designed to extend your adventures. Embrace the essence of spring with our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, specifically tailored for those who prioritize efficiency without compromising on style. With the EV9 in stock, Kia of Vacaville stands as your premier destination for electric excitement. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia of Vacaville for more details.
We all know that Memorial Day weekend is the official, unofficial start of summer, which means time to stock up on sunny day essentials. So of course, I went to Kohl's to check out their savings. Get this, I saved $10 because I spent over $25. I earned $5 Kohl's cash for every $25 I spent, and I found great prices on swimsuits, the perfect patio finds, and fun toys for the backyard. Sweet, sweet summertime. And Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end May 27th. Some exclusions apply. Toys, coupons do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
You're ready for a perfect summer on the lawn. But wait, there are weeds, brown spots, and mosquitoes everywhere. It's time to call True Green. Get the best deal of the year and save over $200 when you bundle annual lawn care and mosquito plans. So all you have to do is water and mow. Hurry, offer ends May 28th. Visit truegreen.com for the best lawn at the best price. Guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmer Lee.
Take my hand, let me make you mine. It's Dasha. Hit your boots, stop working to
Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive, all in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details and 6324.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
You know, Nate, the 916 said, "Hey, fellas, you have the best intro, exit music, and talk radio. Props to your guys spinning the old school."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this?
What is this?
Yeah. What is
specifically?
This? Yeah.
Are you familiar?
Because I was
with
going to give you the props, and
this one you give me
rescind
some crap for this.
What is this?
Are you familiar with? Oh no, whatever, man. Nah, it's good.
What just happened?
What? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Don't even worry about it. But hey, I always appreciate the texts. We've been getting those like once a week, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
You better hold on.
Yeah, it's like 1 to 2 bad ones a show.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
right.
Yeah. So there you go. It's more for me,
For you.
Yeah, I get to pick the music, right? And I try to keep you guys happy. And
do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I go home? You guys want me out of here?
Hey, shout out to 916. Keep spinning the old school.
I am. That was old 90s. Is that old school now? What's old school? 2010 and back?
Nickelback.
Not Nickelback, but kind of close.
I was talking to a buddy and we were trying to figure out millennial ages and where everything started.
Yeah.
And ended. The newest one, like toddler styles, is Gen Alpha.
Yeah, Gen A.
Gen Alpha.
Yeah, cool.
I don't like that.
These
They got
kids
that
these
alpha
days.
energy.
Gen Z ended at 2012. That's when 1997 to 2012 was Gen Z. Millennial 1981 to 1996. When the millennial thing came out, did anybody think that people born in the 80s were millennials? Because I didn't. I thought it started in the 90s.
My uncles are obsessed with it, so that's how I found out.
Yeah, I did not know that. The oldest
one of them
millennial
is.
right now is 43.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And the youngest millennial right now is 28.
Millennials get a bad rap.
Dang.
We had a good rap.
Yeah.
And then it went.
And then phones happen. And it's like, oh, you stupid millennials.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They're
and then
just
my buddy made a good
That's what I
point
saw.
as we get ready for Sean Cunningham. I was talking to the same buddy about generations, and I told him how he was going to he's thinking about going to Cali Roots, which is another music festival, no culinary, but that's all reggae. That's in Monterey. So he was saying he was getting ready to go, and obviously the tickets aren't sold out. We were talking about how these music festival tickets just haven't been selling out.
Mhm.
And I was reading an article that said Gen Zers aren't going.
Right.
And I thought it was maybe correlated to the pandemic and stuff. Not to say that it isn't, but he said, man,
I think they're
they
broke.
they're broke. Well, man, millennials, but they're not used to leaving their house.
Sure.
And
for entertainment.
For entertainment.
Yeah.
Everything they
Or
have
paying for it.
is right in their house.
Yeah.
They're on TikTok. They're on this stuff. They don't want to go out there.
Yeah, you can find an illegal stream, I'm sure, or just like a TikTok stream.
Yeah. What's the point? My feet hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm millennial. Okay, because I am going to a concert. I'm actually going to a show next month too here. So I've always liked going to live.
Well, shows are different to music. That's a 3-day
true.
thing. It's very expensive. Nate, I know who that was, by the way.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
A puddle of mud.
Blurry.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Everything's so blurry. It just
of course it did. He just looked at it.
I know. I don't even have the
watched
text
him.
line up.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it. What the A's are going to do here. A's are losing right now 2-0 in the bottom of the first to the Rockies. They do have a man on as we follow the A's. They lost to the Rockies yesterday. JJ Bleday did hit a dinger. I just think it's a great name, JJ
Bleday. Yeah.
I mean,
rolls
that's
off the tongue.
That's a dude who's going to be.
That's a dude who's a dude.
That's a dude who's going to hit some dingers for you. And he did.
In Sacramento.
In Sacramento. That is correct. And he did. And the Giants, 2 good wins for the Giants as they win the series against the Pirates. They won in extras last night against the Pirates. And Chris and I were watching this whole thing unfold. And we talked to you about how the former Giants balled out. Well, the Giants, Joey Bart ended up getting kicked out. The Giants hold on. Matt Chapman is starting to catch some fire here. He hits what, Chris? A three-run
shot
home run.
after
and
hitting one yesterday, too.
They come back from behind as they were down late in the game to win 7-6. So the Giants trying to cook a little bit with a mix of the young guns and some of the newer guys that have been added to the team, like Jorge Soler and Matt Chapman as well. All right, coming up next, we have our contest to win Steve Trevino tickets. We will talk to Sean Cunningham as well coming up very soon, and we have a fun fair or foul for you that Chris is going to lead. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
It's the Memorial Day sales event going on at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi folks, Leonard Harrington here, and I'm here to tell you we've got the savings, the selection, and of course the service to make Memorial Day better than ever. You know, the start of the summer is the perfect time to get into that new Ram truck, Dodge Charger, Chrysler 300, or Jeep Wrangler that you've been thinking about. And of course, there's plenty in stock to choose from. We've got the colors, the styles, and the options you've been looking for. Maybe you need service on your vehicle. From routine maintenance to major repairs, let our factory-trained service techs get you back on the road at no time at all. It's our Memorial Day sales event, so why not kick off the summer right now? Only at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, right off 99 in Kettleman, and open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the low price center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to amp up your summer with the Sactown Sports live events calendar. We've got a lineup that's awesome. First up, mark your calendar for June 8th when NF takes the stage at the Golden One Center. Visit livenation.com for tickets and get ready for a killer high-energy show. Don't miss music legends Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello with the Imposters on June 12th, and NSYNC and Backstreet artists Joey Fatone and AJ McLean on June 22nd. Two great shows coming in June to Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then looking ahead to August 4th, get ready for the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. Presented by Live Nation. The Sactown Sports live events calendar, your ultimate playbook for the best shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sactown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Is credit card debt weighing you down? Are you losing sleep at night, worrying about how much you owe? Have you ever used one credit card to pay off another credit card, just prolonging the problem? You're not alone. Half of all Americans are dealing with troubling credit card debt. But there is an answer. Zero Debt USA has proven strategies to eliminate that troubling credit card interest and get you out of debt fast. They can often get your monthly payment down to less than half of what you're currently paying. Work with a company that can help. Visit ZeroDebtUSA.com. Again, ZeroDebtUSA.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now during our Memorial Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed plus free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Memorial Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings sale is on now at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords with low financing and lease options. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
It is time for the Steve Trevino ticket giveaway. America's favorite husband, the guy who speaks why fluently, makes a stop at the venue for a night of nonstop laughs. And Sactown Sports wants you in the building, courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. Looking for caller number 7. Lucky number 7. Caller number 7. Caller number 7 to score that pair of tickets. Check out Steve Trevino at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort June 1st. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Looking for caller number 7. Nate will be taking care of that for you, and you will have a great time on June 1st, as we are so happy.
Excited, thrilled. I need answers.
We need a lot of answers. And look,
unlike Sway, I'm pretty sure this dude's got the answers here.
Sean Cunningham, we are going to talk with Sean Cunningham from Fox 40. Sean, our guy who just does so much, not just for the Kings, it's much more than that. Reporter for Fox 40. Sean Cunningham, thank you for joining us.
Hi, guys. Good to be with you. I have to admit, this is like my final thing of the day before I get into full vacay mode. So let's party, guys.
Yeah, let's do it. And we have some vacay questions for you as well before we get you out of here. Let's start here, Sean. Can you break down, I guess it was fairly cut and dry, but can you break down what initially was going to happen with the Sac Republic and Cal Expo coming out and kind of changing their stance on everything as Sac Republic got the win and possibly we're going to get the bid, then ended up getting the bid to host in the Open Cup. Can you break down how that all went down?
Yeah, I mean, it's things you started hearing about a little while ago. And I mean, this dates back to, I think, before January. And I've been privy to some information and seen some emails that have been exchanged, and knowing that Cal Expo was really pushing back and really at one point saying no, that they weren't going to allow this match to take place, which fortunately cooler heads prevailed, and obviously they got in the position not only to win that game against San Jose to put them in position to potentially host, but then obviously they win the draw. But all these things started kind of falling into place, and it was mind-boggling to a degree, because clearly this team not only has regular scheduled matches, not only during the state fair, but even leading up to the state fair. So I think it's a case of sometimes you don't like to see how the sausage is made, and sometimes maybe you get the right people involved to ultimately have conversations and cooler heads prevail, I guess, and it shouldn't kind of take the tenor that it did. But I think it's a little troubling to a degree to see this weird dynamic right now, is the way I describe it, between not only the soccer club and Cal Expo. But in the meantime, like, ultimately it appears as if things are going to go on without a hitch. And if there's one comment that gives me pause is the statement that was made from CEO Tom Martinez of Cal Expo yesterday, which was, "We will do everything in our power." That's a little non-committal, in my opinion, just as somebody who reads statements all the time. But
right.
I even asked, we even asked the mayor yesterday and just other people, and it's like, you can't really make a comment with the overall theme that came from that comment and think otherwise, that all of a sudden they would kind of turn their back in the last minute. So look, this infrastructure is already built. The stadium's already built. It's not like when the state fair comes in, they got to tear down some bleachers or fencing or anything like that. So maybe there's just new people involved. I don't know. But yeah, it was a thing for a while, but ultimately it ended up not being one.
Yeah, something that became a thing yesterday, it kind of seemed like it sparked out of nowhere. There's so much going on here with Sacramento sports news, was the departure of David Patrick as the Sac State head basketball coach for the men. And I saw that, I believe you spoke with David Patrick yesterday, kind of similar thing. Can you just kind of break down how that situation kind of came out? Because it seemed like it was pretty immediate or pretty random from the outside looking in.
Yeah, I caught up with him yesterday right afterwards, and at his home in Curtis Park, and it was incredible because the landscape for college basketball, I mean, we've talked about it for the past few years and how much it's shifted and how it doesn't even look like something people have recognized just even a few years ago, and it continues to change so often. And I asked David Patrick, if you would have thought 2 years ago, coming in at 2022, taking over a Sac State program, because he had talked about wanting to build this program and having a commitment to it. And years later, seeing an opportunity really where his home is in LSU, even though Sacramento had become that home, and here he is leaving and saying, "I'm not going to sell my home." Like, we now consider Sacramento home, but this is truly for family. It's truly for a Power 5 Power 5 type of team. And having, Matt McMahon at LSU, someone that he absolutely believes in. And let's be honest, guys, like, you look at the landscape of college basketball, how much it changes. LSU 2 years from now, maybe even next year, could be a title contender in the national championship landscape, the way players and coaches have bounced around all over. So it would have to be a pretty perfect situation. I'm not saying that Sac State is this great program to where they can, where a coach has to commit to it, but that's how he was looking at Sacramento. Short of being a head coach in a Power 5 conference or becoming an associate head coach, you don't see a guy make that type of leap coming from a Sac State head coaching job. So it really puts it's a really big feather in the cap, in my opinion, of the program of Sac State, even though their facilities are incredibly dreck and absolutely awful and small and in minor league at best. But they're working on that. And David Patrick has helped create, an environment to where, hopefully you're seeing facilities. You've already got some upgraded facilities coming your way. It's probably not enough. They're obviously going to do some stuff at that workout, that what is the Arc or the Well. I get it confused with Davis.
Yes,
I know the guys at Sac State.
Well, yes,
cringe at me saying that, but it's not good enough. But it's something, and hopefully it leads to something else. I think David Patrick took that head on, and he's a recruiter. He's going to be with the Australian national team with the Olympics coming up, and he's excited, but he's looking around like, I can't believe I'm leaving. And so he's got his assistant, or his associate head coach taking over in Michael Zeppel, and he's excited for what that is, even in the interim. He's hoping he can land the job full time, but it's just kind of a whirlwind day for him. He said 2 years ago, it literally was a phone call last week that got him to take the job at LSU, and he literally notified everyone yesterday.
Talking to Sean Cunningham, sports reporter for Fox 40. Sean, we've been doing this here on the show every day. We've been finding a different mock draft and just saying whoever they have, I know, whoever they have picked for the Kings to take. Sean, what are your initial thoughts on the prospects the Kings have looked at? And please tell me that they're not taking a guard. Can you please just tell me that now?
Well, I can't tell you that. I get what you're saying, though. I mean, look, I think in a draft that most people would thumb their nose at, I don't think that's as common of a belief throughout the NBA as maybe some of the media and fans and people who have really painted a picture of this year's draft core as just being really terrible. I think there's some attractive pieces out there, and I think really, there's things later in the draft, there's things atop the draft, there's things that you can take a flyer on, and I think 10 years from now we'll look back and this won't be nearly the worst one of the decade. But that being said, there's all kinds of possibilities that exist for the Kings, and I'm not necessarily expecting them to draft this pick, although it would be something, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. But I kind of think they're looking in terms of building the roster and trying to bring in pieces that make sense in the here and now. And I don't know that there's a lot of that exists at 13. But they're looking. The thing that I actually give them credit in doing is when you go to the combine, you're maximizing your opportunity with some of these guys. And I think what you're seeing in mock drafts more times than not end up being this way, which is it's what you're seeing in a mock draft could change a month from now, days from now. And I don't know that all that matters is whatever that draft board in the Sacramento Kings war room looks like. And if that happens to look at Alex Sarr as number one, or Donovan Clingan as number one, you may not have that same type of board at 13 where they're looking at, but you could move up in this draft. And certainly we've seen what the Kings have done in prior regimes, and this, I feel like they've been aggressive. I feel like they've done their due diligence more times than not. And so, I think they'll be very comfortable to make the pick at 13, but I think they're going to be looking at shopping it heavily. And if they're entertaining a belief to move up a spot or two, it wouldn't shock anyone either.
2 words for you, Sean. Tejan Salon. Okay, that's my guy. So I'm going to make it clear. If you're going to stay at 13, please take him out of France. All right, Sean, you can go ahead and take off your work hat now and put on your vacay hat. We got 2 more quick ones for you. The second one is from Dave that we're being forced to ask, but this one is from me. So, Sean, we spoke at the Sac Republic match. We talked about how you're going to Bottle Rock, how much fun Bottle Rock is. I said, man, Sean, you named off all of the artists are going to be there. So, Sean, yesterday on the show, I'm so excited after talking to you and the big win from Sac Republic. I saw your tweet about the food part of Bottle Rock, the culinary stage, okay? Yeah. So I'm telling Nate and I'm telling Chris how cool this is. And Sean, for some reason, they don't get it. I say Kevin Huerter's going to be there. Sabonis, third team, All NBA is going to be there. It's going to be a great team.
Doesn't make sense.
And they're saying it doesn't make sense. They don't understand. Can you try to educate them and give them some culture about Bottle Rock and when you combine music and food, how beautiful it can be?
Yeah, no, it's a hell of a time. I mean, this is a stage that's near the kind of the a lot of the food trucks and some of the vendors that are up there, and then they have a side stage, and they bring out kind of a celebrity with a world-class chef, and they'll do a cooking demonstration, they'll do wine tasting, and it's pretty interactive. They get a lot of the crowd involved. In fact, last year was probably among some of the bigger crowds I've seen around the culinary stage. Even if you're not somebody that's going to be able to interact with some of these chefs and celebrities and sports stars that are there. It's good people watching. It's a lot of fun. It's a good place to, as you're moving from the main stage, maybe over to the second stage, depending upon who you're trying to check out. It's something that you're going to stop and go, oh, look, Bradley Cooper's up there doing something with his cheesesteak coming. Oh, there's Cameron Diaz and her wine. And
that's right.
When's the last time we saw Cameron Diaz do anything? So, yeah, it's fun. I'm curious to see what Domas, who lives out in Napa and has been a very kind of visual regular out there amongst the community and the restaurant scene and the wineries for sure. And don't be surprised if he gets his name in some of these his own wine at some point. And then Steph Curry, he's out there a lot. There's a huge sports contingent. I know that Charles Woodson, who has his own wine, is out there every year. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun. George Kittle made quite a appearance, as he does everywhere over the last year. I don't think he's there this year, but I remember seeing him get up there. And I'm trying to remember the rapper that was on the second stage last year and just started having a lot of fun with him. And it's just, like I said, good people watching, good vibes. It's my favorite festival. Bruno Mars, when he headlined it a few years back, called it Bougie Coachella.
Chris.
And it's absolutely right, because it's not too hot. It's not too warm. It goes till 10. I'm in my own bed every single night. And it is magnificent. And for me, it just comes at the perfect time, because usually, historically, over the past decade, King season ends, Warriors continue into the playoffs. I jump on the Warriors train to finish their season out and their coverage there. And so, yeah, whether their season comes to an end or it ends up being in the finals, I've always carved out time for Bottle Rock. So it's my way to just kind of let it all go. Great.
There you go, Sean. Well, we appreciate you for hopping on. And real quick, I'm telling you, Sean.
I don't know if this is an inside joke.
Yeah, I don't know. And look, Dave has been helping me out here, so I kind of owe him. He wants to know, he says you're a big cologne guy. He wants to know what's your number one smelling cologne, your cologne tier list. What's number one on your cologne power ranking right now?
Yeah, back when I worked at 1140, I had a lot more colognes than I do now. I've kind of narrowed it down, trimmed the fat, so to speak. And really, it's kind of embarrassing. He asks me every time, but I'll wear it. There's a cologne called, if you know me, I am a Rihanna fan.
Yes,
big time.
Rogue Man, is one of her first cologne releases. She had a cologne and the perfume also. I can tell you right now, the perfume is awful for women. Just don't get it. I think it smells terrible. But I had a gift pack sent to me of Rogue Man, got just unbelievable compliments on it. And I've worn that now for the better part of a decade. And
wow.
You got Gucci Envy, you've got Versace, you've got Fierce by Abercrombie as another go-to, but the Rogue One is probably the one that I've used the most. And as a man of larger carriage, you always want to smell good. So
there you go. Well, I get into. I got a little bit of Burberry myself, Sean. But
I like which one? The regular one, Brit. Which one?
It was a gift, so probably not the top notch, but it still gets it done. Sean Cunningham, great stuff. Enjoy Bottle Rock, Sean. I still see Friday. There's still some tickets out there if you want to kick it with Sean and play some cornhole at the culinary stage. Sean, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon, and enjoy the time out there.
Thanks, guys. Anytime. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Sean Cunningham, sports reporter for Fox 40, always doing a great job. Thank you for joining us. And when we return, continuing to have a little bit of fun here towards the end of the show, a nice fair or foul segment that Chris will lead, and it will be a great time. Let's get your thoughts and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Happy Memorial Day. And you know what that means? It's time to save. We're talking to Chad Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's happening for the Memorial Day sales event?
Right now, you can save up to $11,000 off MSRP on almost every new 2024 Ram truck we have to offer. That means 1500s, 2500s, 3500s, tradesmen's, bighorns, Laramie's, limiteds, and even Longhorns and Rebels. You pick. That means you can get a brand new 2024 Ram truck starting at only $36,995.
Wow, $11K off almost every Ram truck you have is pretty impressive.
And it's not just one or two. We have dozens at this discount, but they won't last long.
Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. Up to $11,000 off MSRP on all new 2024 Ram models in stock, excluding TRX. Total net savings includes all applicable factory rebates, including $500 first responder cash or $2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Not everyone will qualify for all rebates. $36,995 on 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn quad cabs. Net price after $3,000 factory rebates. Sample VIN 194883. At least 3 net savings. See dealer for details.
Be out there.
I don't. I'm still really confused.
Oh, you know
I mean,
what?
he said it's great. It sounds great. It sounds awesome.
It is
really does.
great.
I mean, the music festival part sounds great. Sounds awesome, but still a bit confused about the cologne.
Are you a cologne guy?
No. Recently got like a subscription service thing for
Or
colognes.
cologne.
Yeah, but
So you're turning into a cologne guy.
well, I'm trying to find sense.
That Burberry that I talked about,
Yeah.
it was a gift probably 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's kind of the nice thing about if you do find. I mean, Sean said he's been rocking that Rogue Man
10
for half a
years.
decade or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
So that means
or did he either said a decade?
a decade. So that means Dave has had him on this show. How many times over a decade?
Countless.
And just randomly decided
Today is the day where
you need to ask.
Yeah, you guys need to ask. And it sounded like it's the same answer that he's given every time Dave has asked that question. So
Technically, I have another cologne that I use a lot. I couldn't tell you the name.
yeah,
But I know it's expensive.
they've got I'm an idiot and I like judge books by their cover, and like I probably would base my decision like probably 80 to 90% based off of how the bottle looks. Yeah,
That's smart.
I do the same thing with like the craft beers and stuff. I'm like, can I just get one that has a cool?
I'll never.
taste
That was
or
one of my. I honestly, in our young age, one of my favorite segments was you, and I think Nate was upset
Early
too. But
age.
you were just so
the
mad
IPAs.
about all the different IP.
Oh,
I
so-
can't go
yeah,
to the
yeah.
grocery store and look in that
That's
section and not
ridiculous.
chuckle anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It gets me every time.
It's so insane. Just
There's
try. Yeah,
specific grocery stores too that
Yes.
where it's like bad.
it's impossible.
They're
It's
just
like
trying to
all I'm
support.
yeah.
That's all they're. You're right. That's all they're trying to do. That's it. That is it. Is just support. It's like, okay, at some point, like, can we just get some diversity here?
It's not good for the gym either, you know.
Oh, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not.
No.
Not
that-
really good for anything besides not being present.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which can be good
It can. It's there. Hey, there's a time and a place.
when you can't afford cologne back here.
one thing, guys. I saw this, Chris, and speaking of money, I saw them post this. Keith Smith with a potential $7 billion annual media rights deal looming.
Man,
NBA players could make up to $95 million a year on Supermax contracts in the future, and they have a picture of Wembanyama. And I saw with Luka making it, he's due for over 300 mil. I think it was over 350 mil.
sign De'Aaron today.
Let's just
Today.
Yeah,
Before that price goes crazy.
That's a good point. And is there a point where are we already past the point where certain numbers would make fans and I guess non-fans feel a little bit uncomfortable?
Possibly.
You know what I mean?
Once you start reaching those six,
we sit here every day and we talk
I don't
about
even know how many digits. Is that 9?
We sit here and we talk about numbers all day long, and yeah, we're pretty numb to it. Is there a unnumbing that would happen if now we're talking instead of talking about, oh yeah, this person is making 100, Malik 100 million in 4 years. Victor Wembanyama is just
Could
signed a
make
4-year deal, $400 million for 4 years, making 100 million a year. Is there a part where people could say this is kind of sickening, to be honest with you?
Yeah, it could definitely get to that point for sure. I mean, especially, who knows how the rest of the world's economy is going to go. But yeah, I mean, especially if there's a case where, we're all making less money and then these dudes are out here making hundreds of millions of dollars for a season.
Yeah.
One season.
Can you charge fans less? Is there a world where that happens?
Maybe, but then they're going to start making less themselves as the players. So, I think the league is always going to continue to try and raise the salary cap. They're never going to want it to go down. And so you could argue that it's already a runaway train where, it's already happened and it could be too late. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. And, I could definitely see it where, it might not even be the kind of what you're describing is just the general. It could be more specifically like we see now where it's, okay, I can live with Wemby making $100 million, as crazy as that sounds. But Jaylen Brown makes 60 whatever. He just signed this crazy new extension where he's the highest paid player in the league. That's where it's going to start, I think, shifting is when the guys that you don't feel like are the absolute tippy top stars start making that money. And then it's like, all right, what is going on if DeMar DeRozan's making the Zach LaVines of the world are making $100 million a year.
Yeah.
A single year.
That
is crazy. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm already shocked.
No,
that sounds crazy.
That's what I'm that's what I'm struggling with, because if we sat there, we see Zach LaVine is making $40 million a year.
Right.
And oh wow, that's interesting. And then we continue to our conversation. Part of me feels like it'll more so be like that, but this is our job to talk sports.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious just from a fan standpoint.
Sure.
Are they already numb to it? Because what's the difference?
Right.
Look, whatever I'm making a year, it's not 40 million or 100 million. So what do I care?
Yeah.
But just being,
as that disconnect though gets further.
That's what I'm saying. And
you
you get up. It's already there, but you spend your hard-earned money on these guys, or you spend your time with these guys, and they lose, and next thing you know, they just bought an island because they're making $100 million.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're arguing with your cousin because your cousin's a Warrior fan and you're a Kings fan. I just feel like it could connect. It could build a disconnect, but maybe at this point, what's the difference between 40 million and 100 million if you're not even close? Who knows? And we'll cross that bridge if and when we get there. All right, fair or foul coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
They're going to give it. No, it's a play action. Purdy going to roll left, throw for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. He has the hat trick tonight, a career high. 3 touchdown catches for George. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
It's the Folsom Lake Forward Memorial Day Sell-a-thon. Get low finance rates on approved credit and Memorial Day bonus cash now through Monday. Shop Folsom Lake Forward, over 35 years in the Folsom Auto Mall, and tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable, but you you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' Best Summer Ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
It's the Memorial Day sales event going on at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi folks, Leonard Harrington here, and I'm here to tell you we've got the savings, the selection, and of course the service to make Memorial Day better than ever. You know, the start of the summer is the perfect time to get into that new Ram truck, Dodge Charger, Chrysler 300, or Jeep Wrangler that you've been thinking about. And of course, there's plenty in stock to choose from. We've got the colors, the styles, and the options you've been looking for. Maybe you need service on your vehicle. From routine maintenance to major repairs, let our factory-trained service techs get you back on the road at no time at all. It's our Memorial Day sales event, so why not kick off the summer right now? Only at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, right off 99 in Kettleman, and open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at Lodi CDG.
And local. This is Sactown Sports.
Brandon Ayuk is not attending 49ers OTAs.
Uh-oh.
Trouble in paradise entering final season of rookie contracts. I mean, you know, Chris, who's going to be sick? They're already sick.
Nate, probably.
I was going to say NFL players, if these NBA contracts get any bigger, that conversation,
my gosh.
You know, because that's kind of how Austin Rivers tried to end it with James Jones when he just said, I've made more money than you. And people said, well, that is Austin Rivers not having anything better to say.
Right.
But you could say, I get paid more than you because my sport is better than you could make that argument, and then baseball players would enter the chat and said, okay, well then I guess our sport's better than the NFL, right? The NFL at some point.
And then Live Golf shows up.
And then Live Golf shows up. Then the Big Three shows up.
Big Three.
I mean, at some point, the NFL, as I just saw, NFL is now looking at possibly going to Australia, and then after that, the Middle East to do games.
Dude.
At some point, they're going to have to answer for these pay crimes with the players.
Or just like put a stop to the actual season and then say, this is marketing month.
Yes.
Where we just go around and are like a circus.
Only one team. Yeah, whatever. And I get it. There's a lot more players on NFL teams than NBA teams. But if this happens, you might see, we're more tough. That's why we play football. And basketball players say, okay, I make $100 million a year.
Yep. Yeah, not smashing my head into the ground. But real quick, what are your thoughts on the international NFL games? I think Mexico's fine. Anywhere else, well, Canada, obviously, I can't think of a game that was in Canada recently. But dude, it is so unfair.
They're terrible.
They're
terrible.
Awful. I know teams like the for the teams. Is what I mean.
Not for the fans too.
Yeah. Like the Jaguars will spend several weeks. They'll do like 2.
Yeah, last year they did
3 games there last year.
No, last year they did 2.
Okay, so it's so unfair for the team that has to travel. This is nothing new.
And it takes away a home game.
Australia, I think, is like the farthest place to fly to from the United States. If not, it's one of them. That, and it's the Southern Hemisphere, so like it's a different time.
Day,
yeah, it's a different time of season completely.
Oh, that's a great point.
Well, and what is their goal here? To get people in Australia to watch the NFL more?
There's less people in Australia than there are in California, which is crazy.
I've always said this about football. I really think it's a learned, and I might get destroyed for this, but I really think it is a learned
love.
Yes, like you enjoy the enjoyment that you get from football. I think it's a learned thing, and obviously my perspective is coming from my dad, who didn't really he doesn't follow sports and he did not play football, and my mom being from Panama. I'm just saying these are two people. If football is this is just a very small sample size, but there are specific areas that have not caught on to football. Meanwhile, it only continues to grow in the US. So if it was so awesome just on its face without anything else, I feel like it would be growing more in other places. Not to say that it isn't, but at a faster clip, similar to the US. I just think it doesn't, because in the US, it's from the US, it's part of the culture. People just love football, but the sport itself and the entertainment of the sport itself, if you didn't grow up with it, I don't know if Australia is going to say, especially they love rugby out there, so maybe there's a connection. But
there's Australian football too.
There's Australian football, so they already got football out there. I just feel like if you show random people who have no connection to football versus other sports, I don't think they would say, no, this one.
Yeah.
Not to say they wouldn't like it, but this one over others,
right,
I'm interested in. It's like if you did a blind sports taste test.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think a big part of the football problem too is, in terms of it expanding, it's expensive as hell. You got to get the equipment, you got to get the pads, you got to get, all of the and it's 22 players on the field at once. You probably have rosters of 50 people. It's just a logistical nightmare.
It is.
To your point, if you aren't indoctrinated into it being a thing. Like, I mean, we see, public schools left and right leaving their freshman football programs because it's such an expensive thing to kind of operate. And, I think it's going to be really tough to try and expand it across the world. I assume the assumption is that they're trying to get as just many eyeballs on the sport as possible. But I also think there's an element of they see the NBA, they see soccer obviously do what they do. And they say, if we can get a Luka of football where there's some European guy who's the best in the sport at the time, like, that's going to bring a ton of eyeballs internationally, and that could maybe spark an interest in internationals coming over to play football.
Yeah, I think the model is soccer or football to what soccer is overseas and how you have a Chris Verlaad, and a lot of people have teams and don't live in Europe.
Right.
That's what their model is. We want, even though you're in the US, or even though you're not in the US, you rep your Patriots wherever you go, wherever it is. And that leads me, Chris, quickly, just a shout out to my alma mater, De La Salle. They're going to be playing the NFL Academy in the UK. Wow. So a high school team is going to be flying out to UK. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a lot of private school jokes for that one, because that's
crazy.
Yeah, that is legit. All right.
Just one more thing. Something to consider too. Football is a relatively new sport comparatively to soccer, football, and like baseball too, which baseball is worldwide. So I just think, it's I don't know, 100 years behind, 70 years behind these other sports, probably maybe 50. I don't know,
probably
but
more.
Something to kind of take into account too.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe it'll get there. There is the obvious issue, the elephant in the room of the injuries and things like that. But if it doesn't work, it's not going to be because they did not try. No. That is for sure. All right, Chris, let's get into some fair foul.
Okay, yeah, these are two interesting fair fouls. We might not have time to get into both of them. Maybe we can do one tomorrow. Let's start off with Nate. Do we have both of these? Just because that might help make my decision a little easier. There's some audio that goes along with both of these. Do we have either of them?
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do the you know what? I feel like this one will get a better reaction. I think Dave did the other one this morning. Mm-hmm. Alan, you actually sent this one over to me, funny enough. This headline just reads, a new nightclub in New York City requires men to show a bank account balance of at least $50,000.
Let's go.
Just to enter.
Let's go.
Here's a TikTok, I believe, explaining the story, and it's just as crazy as it sounds, if not even crazier once you hear the specific details.
City that requires $50,000 for entry, and you're going to want to know about it. New NYC nightclub to require men to show their bank accounts for admission. Like Drake says, I can't talk to broke boys, neither will anyone in this brand new innovative nightclub. What? Prepare for a seismic shift in New York City nightlife as the city braces itself for the arrival of Garcon, a groundbreaking nightclub set to open its doors in early April. Founded by women with a vision to redefine luxury and exclusivity, this part's where it gets crazy because it says, equipped with a cutting-edge ATM, this club will publicly display the bank account balance of each entrant, casting a spotlight on those deemed worthy for entry.
Like Drake said.
What?
By the way, it's Garcon, not Garcon.
That's why Drake lost. Sorry, Drapes, but that's why Drake lost, because his fans do stuff like that. So not only is it $50K,
I feel like I need to do some digging on this, because
if it's only $50K, let's say you're right at the
barely make the point of entry.
What are they gonna? They got a billboard, or they got a screen that says barely.
I think it's gonna look like this clock that we have here, and it's just gonna above say like 50,000, like, or it'll say whatever, a million.
You know what it reminds me of? And I love this movie. I think it was very underrated. It reminds me of In Time. Remember with Justin Timberlake?
No.
How there was a running. So there was no money in this movie. Okay. You paid with everything.
You paid with your life, right?
Yes, yes. And rich people they just lived forever. So, but everywhere you go, it was like highlighted, and it would just be ticking on your wrist. So it just shows up, and it says Alan can get in.
What an obscure movie to reference.
This is going somebody on the Sac chat or the text line is gonna Chris Berlotta, if you're listening, In Time was an outstanding movie. But yeah, you paid with your time, not money. And
there's
Justin
gonna be
Timberlake.
a lot of Kevin Hart situations here. Where it's gonna, the way my bank account is set up. Wait, no, I have. Hey, I have $50,000. Okay, it's just transfer. Let me step out. I gotta call my bank real quick.
Can I also show you? Can I combine my checking and savings? Right. Can I show you both? And
exactly. No, you gotta move it over. That's what I'm saying.
And you know how expensive stuff is. You're not gonna get in. I'm not gonna have $50K by the time I leave.
That's what I'm saying.
What can you imagine? A Grey Goose there? Well, I've been to Miami. Now you times that by about 20.
I got the flu.
I've been to Miami. I seen $35 drinks.
Yeah.
One drink.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
A nightclub in New York. What would you rather have? A nightclub in New York or to pay your rent for the month?
It's not even a question.
Is that
I gotta get in there.
$50K
I gotta get in there some way. We start a GoFundMe to get me in there.
Photoshop.
GoFundMe at $50K to get in.
Man, you got better friends than I do.
Mm-hmm. They take credit.
I doubt it.
You take Cash App. You take Venmo.
Can I take a loan out?
Can I take right? You know what? There's somebody out there that is going to take a loan out.
You know what's messed up too? It's just the men.
No, that's nuts.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I thought this is a progressive world.
That's crazy.
That's not cool, guys.
That is insane.
Yeah, no.
What are we talking about? Is that even legal? Cooked. I don't even think this is legal.
No, none of this is legal.
There's no way.
And I've been to Brooklyn.
Maybe it is Garcon.
It's already expensive out there.
Yeah.
I've been to Manhattan.
Not anymore.
Are you educating us?
I'm not going on.
I went to Brooklyn one time. I had a layover.
I was at what is it? There was a spot out there. It's called the Blind Rabbit or something like that. And it had a comic. It was a comic book as well. And the drinks, it was actually pretty cool.
The restaurant was a comic book?
No, the menu was a comic book. So the Blind Rabbit was a superhero. And as you flip through the book, each part of the comic book was part of the
How
menu.
much did you have to make to get in there?
Yeah. Enough. All right, we have Whitey Gleason and the Drive Guys coming up next for some crosstalk. Can Whitey get in? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumberyard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings sale is on now at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords with low financing and lease options. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave here. You know Memorial Day is right around the corner. That means outdoor parties, barbecues, and family gatherings. Now, my friends at Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and inside the new Amy hardware store in the El Dorado Town Center, they're bursting with beautiful, comfortable outdoor furniture. Now, through Memorial Day, they're going to pay the sales tax on all in-stock patio furniture. We're talking great brands like Kettler deep seating sets, Jensen Outdoor, indestructible Polywood Adirondack chairs, and umbrellas. Now, you all know Amy's. It's your barbecue headquarters, and this year they have two of the newest, hottest brands, those beefy Rectat grills and affordable Napoleon grills. And, of course, they still carry the great brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg. The sales tax is on them now through Memorial Day on all in-stock patio furniture. Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center.
Contact tax relief helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call tax relief helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax relief helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. N6324.
And subscribe.
Joined by Kevin Michael Whitey Gleason, fresh off a birthday. And he said it was a good one. As we have a conversation, Whitey, before we get into the untouchable conversation that Chris and I had earlier.
Hall & Oates, you a Hall & Oates fan?
They're from Philly.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think they might have actually went to Temple, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go.
As we have, you're making my dreams come true.
That's right. They were here a couple of years ago. The place was packed.
I would have went.
Golden One was packed.
You know where I'm going this weekend, real quick. Now you got me going.
Bottle Rock.
No, I'm not going to Bottle Rock. I can't go to Bottle Rock. But instead, old Allen goes to Bottle Rock.
Yeah.
Older Allen will be back at Bottle Rock. But this year, the fair Allen is starting early, going to the Sacramento County Fair.
Oh, okay.
We'll either be there Sunday or Monday, but very excited. Big fair guy. You a fair guy? You're a fair guy. But
I used to, as a kid, loved them. Yeah. Yeah. Dad used to take me to the horse track, Solano County
That's
Fair.
right.
Big fun. So I still got kind of a soft spot for them. Now, have you ever been to the state fair?
Yes. Went 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I will be back.
Yeah.
I will probably be there about 3 times. I think we're doing one with toddler Stiles and one without toddler Stiles. If you catch my
It can get a little warm out there with the little ones.
I like to look through the expos on those days.
Okay. Okay.
Some great expositions out there.
All right.
War is going to be at the state fair this year.
Who?
All my friends. War.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They always get a couple really good it's like 2 really like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. That was a thing like 8 years ago.
Exactly.
How about that?
Speaking of,
I love War. Nothing against that.
Speaking of the state fair and Cal Expo, you going to be at the game Saturday for my in-game hosting debut?
I couldn't get tickets. So like once they
I can figure it out for you.
Once everyone figured out Alan Stiles was involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Woo!
Just flew off the shelves.
Yeah.
The only person I know is going is Nate. I think honestly, between me and you, Chris is going to surprise me.
Yeah.
He just wants to keep saying no.
Yeah,
and then he's going to be like, hey, man.
That's the way he is.
What he doesn't know is Nate's the one that's going to surprise him by not being there. And then Alan's like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Today's my big day.
The only person I can count on is probably Frankie. That's the only person that might
Alan,
show up.
I'm going to try to swing by. Okay.
You sound like Dave.
There we go.
But then the last time somebody said that, Dave did swing by to our live our not our live show, but watch party for the.
I'm going to try to swing by
where we saw Zach Eady. We saw Zach Eady and Donovan Clingan, who Donovan Clingan is now climbing up. Whitey, why?
Well, who says he is?
Everyone.
One mock guy says I got him higher, and the other guy goes, I better too. And then all of a sudden, wow, this guy's skyrocketing up the mock.
He is. He is. All right, let's get to the untouchable conversation. But real quick, Whitey, we saw Lamar Jackson. Did you see the picture? He looks a little bit. So as Brock Purdy is beefing up, Lamar is thinning out. He says he did it to become more agile. Chris and I have had conversations of Lamar not necessarily being the Lamar of old, but is that really smart to lose weight and to I don't know how you lose weight and not lose a little bit of muscle. Do you think that's smart for Lamar?
Yes. I don't, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, Alan, right?
He's had injury. He's had injury problems.
Mm-hmm. Well, you carry less weight. You're less prone to injury.
Right? I thought he was supposed to be running less anyway.
I guess not.
I don't get it. All right, Whitey. We took this from Dave, who said he only had 3 untouchables in all of the NBA.
Who told you it was a good idea to take stuff from Dave?
Oh, we've been taking a lot from Dave all day. Dave's my guy. Dave's my guy now.
All right.
Yeah, Dave's my guy. And, I'm now, I am his mentee. That's what's going on. I'm his Padawan.
Why would you say that?
I'm like, ooh, this is the first time hearing about this.
I can't wait for Dave to hear all of this.
Chris is like, I got to rethink this whole thing. This new tag team in the midday thing.
I mean, the bad boys, emphasis on bad is going to be the issue. Whitey, come on. Wemby, Luka, Jokic. That's all he had for untouchables in the NBA. Only 3.
Well, you mean their team shouldn't trade him? Is that what we're talking about in untouchables or?
More so, I mean, we had different definitions, but I just kind of had it as like, if the team there's no trade package you can come up with that this team would actually accept the trade. And I think it was, we agreed on the 3 that Dave listed for sure. Jokic, absolutely. I don't think there's anything you could put together for Luka, absolutely. And Wemby. I mean, Wemby definitely, I think, even if, Anthony Edwards, I think we had on our list as well. We had questions about Steph and Shea.
And Giannis.
Yeah, Alan had questions on Giannis.
I think Shea is. And how about Tatum?
Yeah, and Tatum. We had a conversation about Tatum too. I think it's just is he truly irreplaceable? Has he made himself irreplaceable? I think there's, there's also levels to it where, the Kings would say De'Aaron Fox is probably untouchable. I don't think that's where we're going with this. And I kind of feel like Tatum to me is the start of that conversation because I don't know. I mean, realistically, I guess maybe to your point, if Minnesota in this hypothetical world offers Anthony Edwards for Jason Tatum, are the Celtics taking that? I could see why you would sell yourself on it, but I could also see why the Celtics might say, well, this guy's a 6'10", 6'11" shooter, and there's just not many of these guys walking around in the league. So it was just trying to figure out where that line is.
I think all the teams that are legitimate contenders, you can agree or disagree, but we have a clear idea generally who those teams are. They're committed to these current groups thinking we can win a championship with these guys. I think the main guys of those groups are untouchables. And then at some point, a year or two down the road, they realize, nah, we're not good enough. Then, or the guy says, I want out of here, like you, when you find out what Alan's saying about Carmichael Dave, and you're like, yeah, better find greener pastures. Then it's time to move on. But for now, I think the top four, certainly, to me, they each have their untouchable.
Interesting. Would you put Tyrese Halliburton on that?
I would guess that they would.
They would.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's not a surprise to me. I just wonder if he would be in the universal untouchable. But
yeah.
I guess
you
everybody.
guys are talking bigger picture.
Yes, a little bit.
Because I even brought up, and I said, hey, I might sound crazy because I even brought up Paolo Banchero and just, hey, he is untouchable to the Magic, but I don't think you would put him in the untouchable universal conversation.
I wouldn't trade him because I think he and Malik are going to be quite a tandem.
Will you stop with
dirty
that?
Bird. Come on.
Yeah. Will you stop with that? By the way, Chris, from that, and we'll break this down more tomorrow, from that Bleacher Report article, the 3 places where Malik Monk was mentioned, one of them was what we've heard before, and 2 of them weren't. Magic, that's the one that we've obviously heard about, and Whitey, that's how you reminded me. The other 2, Hornets and the Pelicans. And I'll have to relook at it as far as, I think he was the realistic. I don't think he was the dream scenario for either one, maybe for the Hornets, but I don't think he was for the Pelicans.
We had Keith Pompey from the Philly Inquirer on a couple days ago. He said, he'd be a great fit for the Sixers.
Don't like hearing that. But we do like hearing Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper on The Drive, guys. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Sean Cunningham. Thank you to all the callers, the texters, the sack chatters, and Nate Littlefield. Your chance to win Steve Trevino tickets tomorrow. Last chance. Stiles and Watkins. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also